candid nature come into display again ahead of this final, you know, talking about how he's hoping that there's some sort of miracle happens. You know, NAVI would have to break an arm for them to lose this final, but we'll have to wait and see, as finally it is time to get back into this grand final. It's NAVI versus GamerLegion kicking off on Mirage, and we've got plenty of utility over here for GamerLegion, so let's see what we've got in store for this pistol.
All right, well, Bomb is already positioned towards the A bomb site, so you got to feel like this mid-play Rez Snack's going to try and head towards Khan, but Makaze is going to try and put a stop to him. First shot's missed. Drills a headshot traded.
Yeah, good work from Makaze. Hypex and Rez able to get a couple back here for GamerLegion. Good to see them getting a strong start. Ima going to be falling back into short.
There's no one at the A bomb site as well. Players are starting to poke and prod with those 2 kills, and PR's like, nobody's here. So the bomb's going to come in. Actually, Hypex can play this as slow and chill as he'd like. Flashbang activates Rez to get comfortable in towards Khan. So retake will come in. Ima and Alexi the closest by. Wonderful's going to join up. There's only one HE grenade though, so I don't know how you get in.
Now, Flash goes forward. PR taking Ima away. Now we've got Wonderful and Alexi B, who just have no real chance of getting into this whatsoever. Rez is going to keep the connector closed off. And Alexi B stepping ever closer, and Rez takes the headshot that will confirm this. So a great start from GamerLegion, a strong pistol showing.
I mean, obviously the first step you want is winning the pistol, but I mean, doing it this emphatically as well. Some lovely shots from the individuals of GamerLegion. Really nice to see. Coming in sharp, stepping onto these grand final stages. Bomb's gonna go off. 1-0 for GamerLegion. 2 kills for Rez. In that pistol, we've touched on him a number of times. Best start to his career that he's ever had in a year. It's been a very long career. Last trophy he's won, in fact, of a tournament this size at the Tier 1 events, the professional circuit, was all the way back in that legendary IEM Oakland that we've referenced so many times, back in 2017, MVP of that event, but hasn't lifted that professional circuit, that Tier 1 level trophy since then.
I don't know if we've mentioned it enough, Jason, really, the Oakland performance.
Yeah, we might need to keep banging on. I think a couple more years, people will get it. Second round bye for GamerLegion. Excuse me, for NAVI they invest. 5-7 Deagles and the FAMAS on Wonderful. And GamerLegion going to take it very, very chill on this T side. We heard Snacks mention that too, you know, mentioning that getting to start T side on a map in the previous series back in the group stage. One thing it does allow is you to open up this series by setting the tone. So I imagine Snacks is going to be happy that here in their map pick, obviously Navi selected the CT side, so they once again get that offensive start to be able to kind of prime Navi and let them know what kind of aggressive nature they're going to come in, what kind of style they bring.
Yeah, well, GamerLegion are getting a whole lot of T starts in this BO5.
I'll tell you what, they're about to run into an issue. Alexi has slid over at the perfect moment. There's 3-4 defenders at this A bomb site.
Yeah, bit sent forward with the utility into Palace, having to drop back, but there's plenty of players here. And the Deagle for Ima has come out on top of the first fight. Another one from Ima's Deag. And yep, the trouble's here. GamerLegion getting stalled out, broken apart, and they can't get through to the site. You see Snacks so far away on the other side of the map trying to come forward here, but there's 35 seconds only.
Yeah, he can't do anything by jumping Khan and trying to help out. He's got to be a release valve on this flank, so Hypex just needs to survive. They know he's still there. Utility raining in. Now Navi's getting aggressive, suffocating him before Snacks can show up.
Snacks drifting back over to the site. And there's 15 seconds left. 4 players to find. Navi have done a great job here at picking up the second round force buy. That's 4 players staying up, running to get their Spores of War off the ground as well. So they get 2 Galils and AK-47 out of that. And that's really going to help Navi's economy.
Yeah, it's really quickly going to bring GamerLegion back down to reality as well. That reminder that they are not, in fact, the favorites, that they are the underdog. Good shot here from Ima. No trade possible. Smoke comes out. You can see Rez just feels pinned down. Good shot again for Ima. Lovely Deagle work. Tied at 1, and GamerLegion have bought back in. All Deagles across the T side. So hunker down. This is probably be a slow, extended round as these Deagles will have time to try and find picks inside the bomb site. Wait out the smokes.
We mentioned GamerLegion and Navi playing earlier in the tournament, but it's going to be a different level of Navi now, right, that they've taken down Vitality. Their confidence is going to skyrocket, especially coming into this BO5 with the disparity in grand final appearances for the players on Navi versus that of GamerLegion. There's every reason to be confident in this game for Navi.
It was interesting hearing Alexi talk about it too, like how they've played them back at Blast Rivals in Fort Worth, 2-0 for NAVI. They played them in the groups here, 2-1 for NAVI. But mentioned that GamerLegion's been a team that hadn't played much up until this point. I've spent a good amount of time practicing with them during this North American stretch of the season. I even felt like that kind of experience against NAVI constantly helped them raise their game a little bit, raise their level. So GamerLegion kind of going up against the Masters, according to Alexi.
They move in, ball blanket be coming through. PR's headshot is good onto Wonderful. Rez has also picked up a D kill. Another one, this time from Towson, and the Deegs on display in back-to-back rounds. This time it's GamerLegion's turn, but Imma is looking sharp to kick off this final. Another kill picked up with the AK-47. Still doable here for NAVI.
I love this play from Rez, though. He drops the smoke in CT spawn, makes it feel like they've committed. Towson no longer has to be aggressive because Rez is saying, just fall back and plan for the B bomb site. That's where I'm going. Nobody from NAVI is expecting this yet. Now starting to get the sense because there's been no noise. There's been no pressure. And he must piece it together, but it's a little bit too late. 2-on-2, both have kits and utility.
Rez just sits up in the apartments. Once he gets this strong position, there's a real shot at just rounding this out for GamerLegion. The back and forth will continue. Rez with the rifle, Towson out short with his.
Smoke on the bomb, I would imagine.
Gotta get a move on now, and it's Alexi getting picked off. Imma now alone. And yes, he's got the utility, but he's not got the time. He's got to go and get these kills quickly, and now he's just got to go for the last-ditch effort to try and defuse it. Kill out to short. Spammed out to the apartments, but it's the time that costs him. He doesn't have enough of it and tries to back away. Rez catches him, and GamerLegion continue this back and forth.
Well, if you're going to want a chance at surprising yourself, as you described GamerLegion in this series, and putting up a good fight, you need the experienced players to show up. And Rez has just given you an incredible round. Triple kill and orchestrating the actual final victory. Sneaking off to the B bomb site through CT spawn. Deagles of PR and Towson do incredible work, but Rez, start to finish, has impact. He was a little tongue-in-cheek saying he was hoping he could find some of that old Oakland form throughout these playoff runs. Maybe here in the grand finals we'll get some shades of it. An early back and forth between the squads, so economy real busted for NAVI. Hard for them to put it together. Both teams actually.
Hypex sending out the mid smoke towards the window. And then we'll see the GamerLegion forces start to get ready for what is going to be an A play. Leaving Snacks on the lurk. He's so often found on his own.
Not doing a whole lot of mid control to start out this half, though. A lot of this presence towards the A bomb site. This is where they lost the eco earlier. Another smoke to stall things out. Blocking the choke point, so GamerLegion not committed. Snacks goes down in mid a little bit early.
Now you have to go into what is going to be a telegraph play towards this A side. So NAVI have the extra player over here to deal with this, and the rotations are now arriving as well. So if you're GamerLegion, you better be successful in these first fights. Rez coming in with a double kill. Wonderful answering back with two of his own and going out into the open, but it's Hypex delivering, and Makaze against Hypex in the 1v1 clutch. Hypex in the open, and Makaze's won it. So the back and forth really here. The war of attrition continues. And a timeout coming through here for GamerLegion.
Yeah, talking things over, because it's, again, do you want to reinvest into this? Huge clutch for Makaze taking out Hypex, who himself had a great clutch performance in the quarterfinals to keep GamerLegion moving forward into the playoffs. And just the first time GamerLegion get to take a breath and calm things down and talk it over. Same for Blade on the NAVI side. Both teams testing each other early. No one able to string 2 rounds in a row. No one able to gain the momentum of the early game. But the decision that GamerLegion make here is going to define how this next round will play out, and they are going to reinvest and challenge again. Deagles on Snacks, Towson, and PR. Same for Rez, Tech9 on Hypex. In round 5 beginning.
Well, we know that GamerLegion are capable on these Deagles. We've seen it before just in that previous round, right? Let's see if they can do it once more. PR going for the challenge on that jump spot of Alexi B.
2 in a row is a big ask.
It is a big ask. But that's what's going to be needed. A big ask here in the grand final. And we've got Imma waiting inside of Con. Looking down towards what is going to be his peak from Snacks coming up first. And he will actually take the headshot through the side of the wall there. So IEM down to 11 HP, fortunate to still be standing.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a stack there, right? He had Makaze and a teammate. He had Wonderful over here towards Khan, ready to play with him. So that Dinky backs off. The other two stick around and just maintain information over in middle. So still they realize there's no scaling quite yet. Rez gonna take that first step out. Teammates coming in from the underpass. There's the catwalk presence, but one along the wall. They didn't find him. Wonderful and Makaze mowing everyone down in mid. And there it is. There's two in a row. Navi gained control. And GamerLegion will have to sit back on unarmored pistols for a round before the rifles come in.
Yeah, it was a big ass, Jason. You're right.
It was a huge ass, yeah.
Now they're just down to little Glock. So it's going to be a 4-2 lead for Navi coming up. Can't let Navi get control of this game early on, though, if you're GamerLegion. Can't let them just rack up a big CT half here. You know, see those Glocks group up in the Palace. There's going to be 4 players coming through that.
They'll come right through that smoke as well. A lot of 4-1s with Snacks as the off man.
Yeah, well, trying to flood out, and they've done a decent job of it, but mowed down by Ben in the end. That's a 3K on the MP9, and IEM's come over to help him out. So a strong hold from Navi down on the site. And they get rid of the little pistols quite easily. So the AK-47's coming out again here for GamerLegion.
And they've had a little bit of a luxury. A long time they haven't had to go up against Wonderful's AWP. About halfway through this opening half of the grand finals, Wonderful's gonna get it out for the first time going into round 7. Navi's MVP candidate. He started this map 9-3, statistically the best player of the event. And he's got his favorite weapon in hand. So how does this change the nature of the game? It's been a lot of executes, not so much mid-control, but that's changing here. Perfect timing for Wonderful.
The peak down towards Wonderful. Will back away into the connector and takes a lot of damage as he filters away, but still stands and can deliver later impact.
Ooh, look at this step through the smoke at ramp. There it is, not surprising. Oh, Bit's got both.
Oh my God, he got both kills? That's ridiculous. It looked like it was guaranteed to be at least the trade kill, but Bit stepping up in that way has just given Navi a huge, huge advantage in this round. Rez is gonna somehow pull this back. And going over towards B, it's Alexi B waiting out towards the van. Rez hops outside, tracks through the window. And Alexi B caught. Now Rez needs the second. Dropping down, hunting down the player at short, but now realizes he needs him at 2. And Rez is locked in. And he's given a chance here to GamerLegion all of a sudden.
A Wonderful Zop is coming over now, and there goes Rez. Makaze shuts him down. Wide swing inside the site. Hypex can get it planted in a 2-on-2. Wonderful's gonna wait for his teammates to slide over. Or his teammate, excuse me, that's Bit.
Hypex going into the open would be his death, as Wonderful waits for that peek into the open, putting Snacks in the 1v2. Years ago, he was built for these moments. In the clutches, the 1v2s, yet to get a kill, but can Snacks pull this off? Bit goes out for the first peek, detecting Snacks, flash bullet. This would be a classic way to do it. The time they get to it, can they hold it all the way? Navi will just have enough time as Snacks gives it a good go, dropping down with that final bullet.
Yeah, just trying to, I thought he was gonna try and disappear behind the smoke, tucks himself in, and Wonderful finds it with the spam just at the perfect moment for the defuse. Picks his up back up as well. Good clutch from Navi, good retake, and GamerLegion another timeout burned.
That would have been an extremely Snacks clutch, right? Like dropping down, last bullet, getting the knife out in the smoke.
This is the one right there. You mentioned it, Hypex didn't need to take that swing into the open. A brutal way to go down. Wonderful just finds him right at the tail end. Snacks looking for the knife inside the smoke as he runs out of bullets on the AK. A conversation we heard in the interviews. I mean, they'd mentioned they kind of, it felt like GamerLegion had talked about, we kind of figured out the way we wanted to beat him. We kind of figured him out on Ancient. We feel like we can do that on some of the other maps as well. So far, here on Mirage as their opening pick in these grand finals, we're not seeing that quite yet. The Navi players all stepping up to perform well in their role. Wonderful, obviously, in that clutch. Makaze, his previous clutch against Hypex over at the A-bomb site. Bit performing well as the anchor. He's been one of the best since he burst into the scene.
Even when he's not here, still the chant prevails.
It's always applicable, I feel.
PR, Hero AK-47, all the pressure on his shoulders. And he's in Palace.
Very slow round considering the weaponry, and very spread too. Like, you have Snacks pushed all the way up underneath window. Towson and Hypex look like they can, like they want to activate Towson a little bit to make some presence known towards the B bomb site. A's on the other, or the bomb is on the other side of the map. So they want to plant at A, but they want to pull bodies in the other direction. That's just not going to happen. Not enough force behind this fake. PR's already been spotted up in Palace, so Navi knows exactly what's happening.
Well, giving it a go, Rez. You got to respect it. Wonderful does get overwhelmed eventually by Snacks, who picks up the AWP. He'll take it for a spin in these final 35 seconds, but this round's going nowhere for GamerLegion. Unless something special can happen here. We've got Hypex taking a pick with that Tech 9, but as soon as Snacks goes down, Hypex has everything to do, and Imma's going to make sure it is a quick kill as soon as that challenge comes. So 6-2 lead for Navi, starting to get into a real good rhythm on the CT side.
Yeah, they built up good amount of money as well. Wonderful behind this AWP has $8,100, Makaze $7,500, Ima's sitting at $9,000, so Navi feeling really, really good. A lot of luxuries behind them. If they ever drop around, they can replenish anything they want. Round 9 begins. AK-47's back in the hands of GamerLegion.
Yeah, no AWP again for GamerLegion, just not getting the cash out for it. So Hypex has got a little bit left over for later on in the half, but...
Well, Navi's bringing forces to defend in middle, and GamerLegion's bringing forces to take mid. This round might be decided right here.
Yeah, well, Wonderful's got that opening. Makaze on the follow-up kill, and if it's decided, then it's decided in Navi's favor very quickly, because those 2 kills are so quick. And now you've left a 5v3 in front of you, and GamerLegion, how are you even going to pull this back? How do you even get into a position to compete for it?
You have to imagine Navi at this point just disappears and plays the 5-on-3. No more peeks coming in, so you can see Hypex being patient, looking for any further danger. And if they take too long, GamerLegion to develop into anything, Navi's just going to make an information play, move up somewhere on the map, figure out what's happening.
Losing half of his health. Gonna back away into a CT spawn. Now Makaze at the ready next. Hearing that drop. Ready to react on the boost and can't take the kill. Hypex actually able to finish him off. So an opening once again somehow here for GamerLegion.
Yeah, it felt like he panicked, maybe like took the shot a little bit too quick, thought it would be a little cleaner. So GamerLegion disappear. They brought it into a 3-on-4. Rez is very, very hurt, down to 19 HP. Ema and Alexi to hunker down at the B bomb site. And it's really the only play that GamerLegion have with the time on the clock. Rez will lead the way with the low health. GamerLegion desperate.
And the drop comes in, flash is good. Alexi B held back, but Ima again, so reliable today for Navi. And you've got Alexi B using that distraction that Ima set up, but Rez sharp shooting yet again. But 19 HP left. He tries to get the AK-47, and then Wonderful arrives just in time to blast him through the van.
Couple nice cleanup kills from Wonderful at that B bomb site now. Doing very, very good moving around the map, but again, Navi just say, you can't have mid control whatsoever.
Yeah, we heard our Des talking about the fact that Wonderful has become a consistent piece lately for Navi, which has not always been the case, right? He's a player that many people have been calling to cut, who's talking about how he just is a little bit too inconsistent. He can disappear in the big moments, but this year it's been much better for Wonderful, and again, a strong start into the grand final here, 13-4.
We're going fast though. We're going real fast with Tech 9s right into the A bomb site. Once again, mowed down though. Team kill with the HE grenade as they run through the Molotov. Nothing working for GamerLegion.
Is there a certain sense, Jason, you're getting right now that GamerLegion already scraping the bottom of the barrel?
Yeah, I mean, they just, that it's tough. They don't have the answers at the moment. And I think you've kind of like lost some of the momentum you could have built up in that exchange early on after winning the pistol. 2 clutches have gone against them, which I think is deflating as well. But now you're starting to see some times where Navi's handling the fast tactics really easily in mid previous round. Now with this kind of a rush, they're handling the slow tactics just fine as well.
Well, GamerLegion obviously give this a go, but not going to be happening for these Tech 9s. Going to be jump spotting towards ramp, has missed the first peek, so Bit will take that contact. Bit taking Hypex out immediately. Maybe just Towson, and Bit goes out for that one as well, securing himself a 3K and an 8th round for NAVI.
You know, it's one thing we also kind of saw throughout, you know, in the quarterfinals as well. We touched a lot on Hypex for GamerLegion, like carrying GamerLegion through stretches with some of the clutches he had. You're in a similar situation now where you're having like kind of like your really impactful riflers that have been so solid. Towson has 1 kill. PR has 2 kills. Rez has kind of been doing that job of creating impact to kind of try and carry you through the stretch, but not able to close enough of these rounds out. Those other riflers need to wake up, so that might be just a task of this first map as you're getting beat down. Like, okay, we experience it now. We know what the pressure is. We know we're going to have to play with it. Maybe they can wake up for map 2. Still a chance for them, though, to pop off here and create a little bit more space for GamerLegion to work with in the second half. 2 rounds remaining here.
Yeah, if you can grab these last 2, you could be a lot more positive about GamerLegion. NAVI starting to think about a move in towards ramps. You got Bit clearing that close right.
Yeah, we saw Yenko kind of highlight this on the desk with the Telestrator, the different ways that NAVI was kind of making information plays and pushes to figure things out when it's quiet on the map. GamerLegion like to play slow at times in the mid-round. We saw that come back to haunt them in the quarterfinals against Payne, who was able to bring a bunch of flanks and a bunch of wraps onto the tactics they were doing. Slow again, and Bit's in position at A ramp to push forward and just find all the intel needed. So wonderful keeping an eye on towards Khan with the AWP.
They make their way through. Irmak can be waiting on the stairway. A good trade from Towson. Takes a light shot down to 17 HP. Mikaze going to be forced back by utility. They're at the ready to peek him from multiple positions, and it looked like Mikaze was going to get both, but will they be ready for Bit? Because they just killed Mikaze in this position. You aren't ready for Bit to arrive. And he just peeks out, denies that plant. And now PR and Hypex having to try and clutch up, but Bit, once again, their nightmare. But it's been Hypex all tournament long clutching, but he hasn't got the info to make this one doable. Wonderful looks out towards Khan, and it's an easy shot for the AWPer.
Yeah.
A 9-2 lead for NAVI.
Look at a little loss there at the end. Hypex, I think, looking for someone to rotate through middle, just wanted to get that pick, and it never came. So never put himself in a position to have impact on the round. That's a really cruel, nasty bait and switch. To have a second player lying in wait in ARAM is just brutal. You will never, never be ready for that. Last round of the first half. And Mikaze wants to step forward. They'll attempt to split towards the A bomb site. Rez and Snacks have to find a way to close the gap because PR, Towson, and Hypex, they're ready.
Here comes Towson. Out towards Bit. Such a quick, decisive opening here for NAVI. They're not going to let this one slip unless Snacks and Rez can do something fantastic. And it is Snacks that is fighting on, but it must be Snacks alone. A 1v2 now, and low HP did not make it into the window. Alexi B is going to be checking towards it, and Bit has the answer with a grenade. A brutal first half. They get bashed in. It's a 10-2 lead for NAVI. They are looking like they're going to make this first map extremely quick.
Alexi came into this series saying, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling confident about the best of 5. We played them twice, we beat them twice, and this is looking like a third is on the card, at least for here on Mirage. The first time these squads faced off in the group stage, this was a close affair. But now that we've hit this stage, now that these players are competing while staring that trophy dead in the eye on the stage, I mean, like, it's just, GamerLegion is just getting smoked right now. There's not a whole lot to talk about positive for GamerLegion because NAVI are showing that comfort and that confidence, and they put it out into the map.
Yeah, but we try to be fucking perfect, but I don't want us to be fucking perfect, you know? I want us to play our game, enjoy the fucking first grand final for the majority of the team. Played on after 20 years. Let's change it, alright?
Oh, trying to get him hyped up, saying we're not even playing our game, we're not even having fun right now, so at least get that going. Let's see if we can return that into form as this map starts coming to a close.
Oh, PR not enjoying the start of this at all. His bullets were blanks. Couldn't land anything. Now Mikaze marching through. It's NAVI comfortably taking the site, overwhelming it. There's nothing GamerLegion can do to change the outcome of this. It's going to be 11-2 for NAVI. And with a pistol round at this point, it does feel like this map is going to be brought to a close soon. Yeah, what a crazy turn. I mean, if you could think all the way back to the first 4 rounds of play, this was back and forth. Both teams, you know, winning a pistol, losing the second round, winning the third, losing the fourth, going blow for blow. And man, once NAVI got hold, there was just no fight left. Res Force back now, and all they can do is save the pistols. Well, at least a good shot from Res to prevent the clean sheet. A small victory, but you know, I mean, 11-2 now for NAVI. They're just looking so good. I mean, you've got all the pieces you want for NAVI showing up. You've got Bit having a great game, Wonderful, and Ima, and then Mikaze getting involved at the start of this pistol round as well.
Well, think of also, I mean, Bit's having a great game, but also remember too, like the game plan that GamerLegion brought was a lot of executes towards the A site. Felt like they really wanted to be able to take over one of the bomb sites on the extremities before switching back into that mid presence and mid control. So Bit got a lot of attention in a variety of ways heading at him, and he stood tall to the task pretty much each and every time. Good opening kill for him here with the Palace push from Hypex. 11-2. All that's left is for NAVI to mop up these final pair of rounds. You're loving it, aren't you? No Apex, no Vitality, everything you could have wished for coming to Atlanta. You're all sick.
Well, Max 10 for Alexi B. He's put under a lot of pressure here and eventually going to be taken away. But that information just allows his team to move into the site. So I think he'll take a death if it allows a comfortable take of the A-bomb site. But this is anything but comfortable. Snacks and Rez sending a couple of kills right back to NAVI. And then Bit. Okay, he can do nothing wrong. This is something different from Bit. This is beautiful stuff.
Feels like such a casual sequence. Yeah. Like he's not even have to really work hard for it.
This is one of those Bit games on Mirage where he just literally walks out and the bullets have to be a headshot. Like, that second one is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great defense, the aggression in mid, but this is just like, you just get disintegrated here. I don't even see that headshot. It's with the final bullet. He might have even been surprised, but comes back for the third. 10 chances for NAVI to shut down Mirage and take us on to the second map in this series with a lead.
What can you even do against that if you're GamerLegion? There's just nothing you can do to deal with that. They come into this with 2 scouts, FAMAS, MP7,
listen,
M4.
He's given the young riflers on GamerLegion the example to aspire to, right? Guys like PR, guys like Towson, he's like, this is what it's like being a playoff rifler. You got to get to this point where you just show up and shut down start to finish.
Well, Ruz gonna get flashed into the ram. No one's home. No one there to spot him. So they're gonna start drifting that ball back through T-spot. I mean, for GamerLegion, this is the best chance possible, right? You got 4 players at least towards this side of the map.
Yeah, but it feels like they're gonna start shifting away. Towson is alone. Hypex just kind of passed out through the murder hole, so he's backing off to the B bomb site because it's quiet on the map. Snacks hasn't seen anything in middle. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of numbers here, but also look at it this way. There's no utility. There's 1 smoke to utilize. It just gets dropped now at A ramp, but no flashes, no Molotovs for the CT side.
NAVI are coming for the map point, trying to get out, but Rice has got himself a double kill and then a shutdown on Bit. So some life in GamerLegion all of a sudden, a great hold of that A site.
Yeah, that smoke does its job. I think Alexi must have felt like because they'd given up control in middle, no presence anywhere on the map, that was the timing they had to hit. As soon as the Molotov faded, they just had to go for it. Right into the wall. So GamerLegion stay alive a little bit longer. That is their first round win since round 3 of this map. It was an 11-0 run from NAVI to get to 12. So, I mean, a little bit of the back foot for NAVI. 3 pistols, 2 Tech 9s and a Deagle, 2 Galils to work with.
It didn't seem to be a problem in the first half, right? Once Ima got that Deagle out, he's going forward again over on Taliesin at B. Kaze making his way through the underpass. It's a kill towards Connector. Hypex dead first, NAVI with the advantage in terms of the player count, but the weapon certainly still stronger here for GamerLegion.
Well, remember, Taliesin already spotted one with a jump spot towards the B hull, so they've actually pulled everyone towards B, thinking it's going to be a play in this direction. And Navi's going to try and back off. Good equalizer found.
Yeah, Rez is putting up a great showing here. Really trying to keep his team in this fight, going out, getting these trades, but he's gone. And his Deagle rings out. Now it's Taliesin and Snacks. They must step up. They must deliver. Otherwise, this map is done. And the only player that can change that outcome is Snacks. He's on the A side. Bomb is dropped up on short. There's 45 seconds to go back and get it.
They thought it was going to be B the whole time. They just never expected this many bodies in middle. Navi just way too composed and comfortable in the scenario.
Well, not going to be letting this one slip easily. Snacks has really got to work for this. A 1v3 clutch for Snacks. Can he pull it off? 2 players going up through Connector. Bit in the window. Snacks has done well. Now he follows up. Snacks gets away. And Snacks going for glory in the 1v3. Trying to keep his team alive. And look at the damage he's done to Ima.
Picked up a nade on the way.
Sends it in. Ima dodges. Both players so low. But this would be it. Snacks looking for the peachy 1v3 off the top of the stairs. And he goes into the open, but Ima will deny. It is brutal. NAVI with no mercy on map 1. A 13-3 win on Mirage. The start of the best of 5 has to be a wake-up call for GamerLegion. If they don't show up, if they do not show up here on this second map, NAVI going to be 2-0 up in the BO5. And a reverse sweep in your first BO5 final, it just ain't going to happen. So let's see how this Anubis goes, if GamerLegion can actually get into this final.
And we're live into the pistol. It's going to be Navi starting on the CT side. Dualies for Ima. On the T side, Snacks has the util. They'd flash. And they're going to be aggressive. There's an aggressive smoke for Navi to get a push in, see what's happening in middle, and they hear and see nothing. So going to back away. So Bit's the aggressor for the moment while this smoke is up, but before that fades, he backs off as well. So the slow opening on the T side for GamerLegion means they don't get punished by any of these early peaks, but we know the CT side is going to be proactive, and we touched on this. Yanko brought it up right before the series began. The ability for Navi to go for information plays and wrap around and disjoint the tactics of GamerLegion before they even begin. What do you do now? You're caught in middle. They've seen you from behind. You know someone's behind you. You can't go back. You can't even go forward.
Yeah, well, they're coming at them. Taliesin stepping up. 2 headshots coming in. Ima steps out into the open. Bomb is loose. GamerLegion have the advantage for the time being as they go in towards the A site. NAVI don't have anybody close by until Wonderful now arrives towards stairs. He's climbing back up in towards heaven, making no secret of his position as he tries to get forward with his teammate fast, but not going to work out here for them, and GamerLegion will win the pistol round.
That's great work. You can't go back, you can't go forward, but you can just destroy everyone who comes in for the fight. There you go with a couple of kills out of Taliesin. 2-1 on the pistol.
I mean, you mentioned Snacks coming in as the new IGL for the squad, and how this has been a good run from them, and getting to see what he's capable of doing with this young squad. But they're going to have to start T-side right again here. They started over in Mirage, didn't really get going. Now they've got another T-side start. So you are going to have to see Snacks have a lot of importance on his shoulders in terms of actually calling a great T-side against this Navi side that looks so strong.
Yeah, he's going to have to call a great T-side, but none of that's going to matter if his players don't show up as they did on map 1. You know, it's hard to lay any kind of fault on the tactical side of things when you have your riflers with 1 and 2 kills after a half of play. So, yeah, you need Snacks to be calling a great game. They have a lot of confidence in him. They've given interviews where they said, we have a lot of confidence in the way he controls the mid-round, the way he paints a picture for how we're going to finish things. But now you just need the individuals to produce within that system that Snacks is calling. And bad news for GamerLegion, they're walking right into a stack.
Yeah, Flash is going forward. That's going to be a main control taken over here by GamerLegion. But will they keep going? How far do they progress?
Here's the Flash.
Yes, the Flash is here. And so NAVI going to come to meet them on the peak. It's wonderful, and Immo with the first 2 picks. Snacks going up to fight towards heaven. Alexi P gone. GamerLegion need Hypex to be successful in his fights, and he is. He tries to back away, but once again goes in for the fight on 9 HP. So Wonderful's got him, but Immo's been hiding, biding his time, and now detected by Rez. Immo just trying to stay alive. Keep the advantage here for NAVI as they all join up. Mikaze now joining the pack. Snacks getting in the midst of the smoke, but he loses his life. So it's all on Rez, and he can't do anything about it. Once again, it is NAVI answering back with a force buy in the second round. This is how it went down on Mirage as well.
And there's nothing worse than this sense of deja vu when you feel like it's going right back, except the deja vu is a horrible sense. Just how the first map began, and that had to have been a conversation. Guys, we won the pistol, let's just secure the second one. And they just get destroyed. NAVI a step ahead. 4 players at this A bomb site. Pop Flash set up for the exact play. You drop the bomb and outlast GamerLegion trying to recover the scenario.
I gotta see if we can get a force back here. Skull for Snacks, gonna be spotted. It was Bit going aggressive out of A. What a fantastic map Bit had over on Mirage as well. Just felt like every bullet he shot out of that rifle was going to a head. He's so confident now, even challenging against Snacks. Really trying to force this opening, and he's got it. So you can see why he wanted to stay committed to that.
He's got Mikaze helping to keep some space and protect him. He's got that smoke up, so yeah, lovely shot from Bit. Hard for GamerLegion to do anything about that. You just have to sit back patiently and wait for the smoke to fade. In the open, Wonderful's done great damage. Nate comes out. I think GamerLegion's not going to want anything to do with the B bomb site now. If you look back on the first map, Snacks, Towson, and Hypex were a combined 0 for 13 in opening engagements. That's the biggest issue. That's the biggest turnaround we need to see out of GamerLegion is find some of those opening kills. These engagements need to go a little bit better. Well done from PR. Give yourself a chance in opening a 5-on-4 to play with. All 4 members of GamerLegion going to march right up mid, up the gut of this defense.
On the back end, they get another one. PR, quick reactions, and Alexi B dead as well. So some life yet here for GamerLegion.
How nervous is Mikaze right now?
We'll find out. And yep, well, nerves don't matter when you just get blasted against the wall like that with Rez's Deeg. And that's the site. Bomb planted, GamerLegion respond. And it's, again, similar to Mirage, right? We had that back and forth. It just never really got going for GamerLegion. Obviously needs to be a different story here, but staying in it to kick off the first 2 rounds as this war of attrition begins again.
Yeah, it's good to see them, you know, we mentioned that sense of deja vu after losing the second round. It's good to see them respond again, right? Like, not just kind of fade away and be flattened by the fact that they can't carry a pistol round forward.
Good to see PR get a good round here as well. I mean, we talk about how important it is for him to show up. He really didn't get going at all over Mirage at any point, but this hopefully is one of those rounds that can ignite him on this T side.
A couple nice deagle shots like that can settle you down a little bit, calm down the nerves, and just make you feel a little bit more comfortable moving forward into the rifles. But they lost this upcoming round as well back on Mirage. And then NAVI rattled off 11 in a row. Can't have that happen again. We'll get a timeout from GamerLegion, and I think that's appropriate. I think it's actually a well-called timeout to have the discussion. Don't come out of this on the losing end like you did on the first map, and don't let NAVI gain any momentum. So a conversation on how they want to play this, what they want to do is making sure everyone's on the same page so that they can start digging into the game plan, digging into the playbook, and rattling off a few rounds on this T side over NAVI, get a bit of a buffer in the early stages of the half because you know NAVI's going to battle back. 4 rifles for GamerLegion and a MAC-10 on Snacks. For NAVI, 2 saved rifles from the previous, and they're buying up around it. A staunch defense going to be provided here in round 4.
You see Blade frustrated after losing that last round. Could barely watch, turning around the classic Blade emotions. I mean, it was brought up earlier today on the desk the fact that Blade called a timeout so early into the game yesterday ahead of the first gun round. So see if he lets him play this one out, but I imagine he's not going to be too shy about using them early again. We've got Bit down to 64 HP, initial damage through, and we've got Snacks moving up towards top middle, clearing out the window.
4 players with head armor, so that MAC-10's gonna have trouble finding a clean fight or a clean headshot. A very slow-paced round, yet again, aggression, information being gathered by this push from Na'Vi. Towson, the only member watching this.
Yeah, Towson trying to hold on, but Mikaze able to just push forward and take that fight and win it. So now Na'Vi a player up. Snacks is gonna have to try and respond, but Alexi B is cognizant of the fact that mid is open. So detecting how far Snacks has gone, and immediately the decision for Snacks is to change up the avenue of attack. He's going to go in towards the A side via camera, but there's 2 players still defending here, one of which is Imma, who's taking that initial contact, but they split Bit really well, and then the follow-up kill's even better on Imma. So this round just falls apart for Na'Vi as they can't hold on.
Oh, unless this happens, unless this retake over towards main. Okay, PR, you got one. Oh, even a dink on Wonderful as it disappear around the corner, and now they gotta save. There's nothing you can really do. Wonderful at low HP, and Alexi's gonna have to give this up as well.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing some positive signs here for PR that we just didn't see over Mirage. Like, we were watching him on the CT side pistol on Mirage as well, just with all those USP shots. I mean, this is a very different look from PR so far, settling into the second map.
Well, back-to-back rounds, I mean, GamerLegion is able to find their avenue into the A bomb site through middle.
Yep.
Or excuse me, just into a round win through middle. The Deagles from PR in the previous one. Now Snacks applying that pressure. So that'll be a conversation among the Na'Vi camp. How exactly they want to handle it, it's got to be annoying, and maybe that's the sense of frustration you're seeing at a Blade, is losing middle in such a fashion, and the defense not able to react appropriately. (3-1) scoreline. GamerLegion, they don't drop the ball. This is what we wanted out of them. Now that deja vu has changed, and it's Na'Vi forced to take a timeout to talk things over. 2 ugly rounds they don't like coming out of middle. And GamerLegion have the momentum, the advantages. 2 rounds straight. They're saved weapons. Alexi's able to pick up an M4 on his way out. So Na'Vi talking through their options, and yeah, Blade looks real frustrated about maybe the communication, maybe the way they're reacting.
Damn, this is an extremely animated timeout from Blade. Throwing everything at the squad there in that 30-second timeout.
Yeah, that's a conversation meant to get everyone to wake up. Maybe feeling complacent after the first map, after how easily they dominated on Mirage, and Blade is sensing something in the early going that he doesn't like.
Well, a couple of rifles for Na'Vi, but very likely to see a 4-1 start here from GamerLegion.
GamerLegion got to be careful about some mid-round plays, some aggressive plays. They have to know, like, 2 rifles were saved, so you're looking to maybe see if those M4s can open up an opportunity early if you're Na'Vi, so GamerLegion need to be cautious about any flash peeks coming in. Wonderful is going to be alone at the A bomb site. Other than that, 4 players stacked up at B, and now starting to push. Hypex is responsible to gather this information when they turn the corner, but he's also got to be careful. The bomb is dropped all the way back towards T-spawn. Doesn't look like anyone from GamerLegion is really aware of that.
Well, good start from Wonderful, but it's only a USP here for Mikaze. If he even had a slightly better pistol, then perhaps that could be a lot more potent, but as soon as they figure out what's up, you see GamerLegion just accelerate once again into the A side, but you've got Alexi B trying to step up this time. The rifle's still there, Na'Vi still a threat, and Alexi B not too far off taking Towson there as well. He's going back forward, and Alexi B's got another kill. And all of a sudden, it's PR and Hypex having to recover this as Bit comes over to back him up. This is a scary combo now. Bit's arrived with the rifle. Grenade lands towards him, half his health gone. But Hypex and PR needing to stand tall. You can't let this slip. You cannot let this go. GamerLegion, this would be a devastating round loss, and Alexi B is dragging Na'Vi over the line in this round. A 4K from the in-game leader, and that's a round Blade can be happy about.
Yeah, someone took his speech to heart. That is a round and a half from Alexi, sliding over to close the gap. 2 rifles brought in, and they come out the victor. GamerLegion just a stumble on their way into the A bomb site. Good initial hold from Wonderful to get this kill, but Alexi coming over as support just finds all the perfect timings. A brutal way to lose a round when you're just trying to build up some steam. Round 6, and GamerLegion have to descend into a couple of pistols. Tech9 on Taliesin, Deagle on Rez. And so much of the game plan of GamerLegion has started in the middle of the map. We haven't seen any love towards Canals, E-Box, and B main. That bomb site hasn't had a whole lot of attention on it. Snax likes to call some tricky styles. Establish a trend, get the defense comfortable in how you're playing, how you're attacking, and switch things up when they least expect it.
Yeah, wonderful looking down, and it won't be Rez, the first victim of the round here. GamerLegion, even if they wanted to respond through B main, they've now been blocked by a smoke, so it feels quite suffocating at this point with the way NAVI have now set this round up with the advantage and the utility. Snax goes up on top of his teammates' heads, searching for some equalizer that might be available, but another smoke to replenish at B main at the 35-second mark.
Yeah, and he's just pulled everyone over here.
Oh, another one.
Well, it's because of the smoke. He pulls everyone over to the B bomb site, and PR feels like he needs to start moving. He needs to start getting in position to attack, but they're stalled out. It's just a long time. You feel really uncomfortable if you're just blocked out in this fashion by smoke after smoke. I think GamerLegion, this option's done. Like, you can't even move it. There's a new one that just got replenished, so they've got to back off. There's no way. Saving these weapons. And this round just stalls out completely. What a gift over to NAVI. All 5 players survive. Money is going to blow up on the CT side.
Yeah, this is where things could start to get going, right? Where we talked about Mirage, where it was competitive throughout the first couple of rounds, right back and forth, and NAVI took control of the half and just led it all the way.
Yeah, this is that tense moment where the same thing could just start to occur. And both teams know it with the way they've rattled off timeouts. 3 timeouts in the last 3 rounds. 2 of them from GamerLegion. That kind of round where you just don't even get to execute anything just feels terrible. So coach wants to chat. How do we want to break it now? Do we go back to the middle of the map if you're GamerLegion? That's worked for them a couple of times. And now you also have to consider the AWP of Wonderful, which has already had good impact to a round win for NAVI. Money will be gone for GamerLegion after this investment. So a very, very important round 7 coming up. 2 rifles, 3 pistols for GamerLegion. NAVI fully kitted out.
Back in behind the double doors. Just as he does that, GamerLegion are getting players into position for a B split.
This is a change of pace now.
Yeah, a lot faster, earlier timings, but regardless, Wonderful still ready. And that smoke break is going to catch Rez. Going to cost him his life. Taliesin and PR, though, that's more like it. Those are the kind of shots you need to try and break in. But getting past Wonderful is going to prove very difficult. Grenade goes flying over the top. Catches Hypex on his way to the site. Then the Molotov combination. So the utility from NAVI is so strong to disrupt this and slow this and buy extra seconds for this retake to get closer and closer.
An extra smoke by GamerLegion used on the Molotov as well. They won't have that to block any choke points. This retake is going to take its time because Bit's wrapping all the way around. So Wonderful, his goal is just to live. Same with IMA.
Yeah, they've still got utility to work through and keep eyes on them, keep the pressure pinned towards the CT area so that that flank can be very effective through B main. It's now arriving now. They have to speed up though. No longer a secret. Steps being made, needing the fight. NAVI winning the first one, but Taliesin revealed on no HP, but he's out of bullets. Oh, he's out of bullets, and NAVI come back in on the retake. Time though, time is the question. Have they got enough of it? Holding all the way, NAVI just about securing the defuse.
That is an incredible retake. What a time to run out of ammunition. Never a chance, never a dull moment to just reload the weapon, reload the Tech9. He could have had the kill on Wonderful and just closed that out. The narrowest, the slimmest of margins. 6 bullets. How heartbreaking for Taliesin. The first NAVI player even gets off the defuse. He had a kit. I don't think he realized he picked one up on the path in, so that equally could have just caused a loss.
Well, unfortunately for GamerLegion, the reward for being so close in the last round is another round with Tech9s, right? So this is a good chance to recover again for NAVI to push them up to a 5-3 lead.
Some of the best looking rounds, though, have been with the Tech9s and the Deagles. They've been able to make it work.
Yeah, just faster timings, faster pace play, and we've got Wonderful looking to try and shut them down in middle, but he is just going back. He goes into it, and okay, Rez is starting things off with a deagle headshot. Ima has to duck out, so there's mid. You've got it to work with here if you're GamerLegion. Yeah, but so GamerLegion is going to go all the way towards Temple, towards the B-bomb site. Makaze's here, ready to go. Nate is out to slow this down. I don't think GamerLegion like this route. They slow it themselves. Teammates been found, and you just have this core 3 players in the middle of the map who are stuck with no good options. Yeah, you have to fight your way out of this, and it doesn't look likely whatsoever. Hypex, the only player that can really do anything about this. He's picked up the AWP. Rez has got a deagle headshot out towards Alexi B. You've still got time to try and piece this one together. But where do you go? How in the world do you find a way towards the bomb site without losing a member?
Oh, I don't know if he must spotted that. Looked like Hypex got a glimpse.
25 seconds, though. That's all you've got. You got to drop. You got to go quick. Into the water, into the canal, but it's all about this play towards B. Makaze's positioned himself to try and deal with Rez. That's the bomb gone. Hypex has to clutch this up. Makaze's moved off, changes up his position. He's even got utility to boot as well. Hypex. Oh, what? Big shot, fast kill. Now the hunt is on. The time gone again in Hypex. How many last second clutches can this guy pull off?
Aggressive decision whenever there was another option. Who cares about planting the bomb? Keep it up, pushing forward to find that last kill. That's the attitude out of Hypex, out of GamerLegion. We've been waiting from these young players. Can that be the moment that ignites them now in these grand finals?
That is so ridiculous again for Hypex. That shot coming back in, out through dark, is just unthinkable that he's going to hit this through the fire into a kill, and then the hunt for Ima is successful. That's the kind of moment that can fire you up, and that's the kind of player GamerLegion have been missing. So many versions of this roster, they struggle to find an AWPer with attitude, and look at the frustration it throws into the NAVI camp.
Yeah, Bitch is looking up like, how the hell did we all lose that? How the hell did that happen? Okay, so maybe you've changed the attitude on the NAVI side as well. You've certainly taken a lot of that money away that was built up by the defense. Now you got to take advantage of it. Roll with this emotion. Hypex gonna get in front of that smoke, full confidence.
Ima, confidence out to the window, dropping down into the water, and they turn. Finally they turn, because it looked like Ima was about to get away with another one. But Rez and PR, that's more like it for GamerLegion. The Riflers are online, and they've taken away the steam here of NAVI. And they're moving it towards the B side. Wonderful's going to try and pick up the pace again for NAVI. He's been so good. And this is the kind of round where you might just get the AWPer of NAVI delivering. Wonderful goes back for it again, but this time put in the ground by Rez. But he's done enough to make it possible.
Alexi's got a long way to traverse before he can get into this clutch. Looks like he wants to drop down into canals. He's got a kit in hand, smoke Molotov as well to utilize if you're Alexi. And now an AK-47.
Oh, look at the frustration on Bit. Just sitting back, having to watch his in-game leader try and clutch up. He's got 45 seconds as he makes his way over here, Alexi. That bomb plan's starting to come through. He's in the right spot. But can he do anything about it? He's got the health. Now he's got a 1v1. Rez just walks in. That's a risk, but it certainly pays off. Hits the headshot on Alexi B. And you'll see GamerLegion take the lead of the game.
It's a risk, but I like it. I mean, Rez is just saying, I'm at least going to find out where he is. If he's not here, it's clear, and I have a much safer position to play from. If I do find him, just take him down. 5-4. And GamerLegion with this win, grab control. Here's the double kill from PR. This aggression has been a nuisance all throughout the half that Navi's bringing into play, but this time PR shuts it all down. And yeah, after that kind of a loss and then an aggressive call that just gets deleted, frustration mounting for the NAVI side. And Hypex feeling comfortable. Smoke is up. Give him some time to peek into the bomb site. Get a time for this AWP to do some work for you.
Yeah, Snacks just tapping away on that boosted player of Alexi B. Makaze going to be burned off the platform. But even taking some damage through these smokes. Here comes Rez. Con, he's going to look up towards the platform. Ima's got one of the P250. Has to be bit, and it's not going to happen. So Towson with the triple. And a 6-4 lead for GamerLegion.
Bit had that Hero M4 in the previous round that didn't have a whole lot to say. So this time he's got to stick down to the MP9 as money is at a really rough place for NAVI. 2-round lead for GamerLegion. And finally, in this second map, we've seen them come alive. Towson 8-7, Rez 9-7, Hypex with that clutch, he's 7-4, PR 8 kills.
Yeah, we're getting all the pieces that made this GamerLegion run possible, right? The reason they're in the final was because of these clutches of Hypex, because of the rifling core of the GamerLegion squad. And finally getting to see it on map 2. Wonderful weights. Because he's got the scope up at B main, and there are plenty of players just around that corner from GamerLegion.
This is meant to be a little bit of a fake, a little utility towards the A bomb site, change the timing of this hit. It's pulled Wonderful back just a little bit, but still looking for this B main play. They haven't called to move just yet. Snacks coming back now through canals. Hypex gonna maintain that presence towards A main.
We got Mikaze dropping in behind the obelisk. We'll throw some utility and try and slow things down. Wonderful's got eyes on Dark, but not the grenade that heads to the back of the site. Mikaze gone. Wonderful no longer has a support. He's burning, and Wonderful can't do anything about the rest of the players going into the site.
What about Hypex? He's gonna cut off this flank.
Yep, he is. No rotations allowed. Bit steps out to his death, and now Ima can't go forward.
Snacks has called them off the B bomb site. They didn't like how long that took, so now they feel like there could be an extra defender there. They might be a little bit too cutesy. Alexi's waiting for this relocation.
Let's see if this decision comes back to bite them. Rez just spotted Alexi. Rez is going to move up. PR just in behind him. Alexi takes a passive angle, but he's going to be smoked away, and he wins the fight against Rez. That's an all-important kill, but now pressure's on. PR goes in alone, and going alone means easy kills for Ima, and the bomb goes down, leaving Towson on the hunt forward. He also falls, and once again, time limited, a clutch required for Hypex. Into the open, low HP at heaven. 10 seconds. This guy doesn't care about time, though. Taps that bomb, no peek now. You can't let this one go if you're NAVI, and Wonderful peeks up from heaven, confirms the kill, and the round win for NAVI.
Yeah, I think GamerLegion just calling way too many pieces throughout that round, and eventually it unravels and gets away with them. 2 players execute into the bomb site before the other 2 players are even close by to help. They get shut down, the bomb's alone and isolated. And that might be NAVI's pathway back to tie this up at half. Third and final timeout used by GamerLegion. This half has just been a brawl between these 2 teams, neither of them wanting to relinquish any kind of control. But if the second half gets sketchy, GamerLegion's not going to be able to put a stop to anything. We'll have to do it on the fly now. Round 12.
Well, at least he put the mic up.
Well, I mean, look, that pressure, that kind of frustration in these grand finals, those are the things that GamerLegion Snacks was talking about these young guys need to get used to. Those are the situations. Can you play on the biggest stage with frustration, with anger?
Ima dropping down into the water, and that's a big kill to get away with. PR caught at the rugs, and Ima's just going to walk away. Daylight robbery for the opening kill.
Yeah, Navi's openings in this half have been just so harassing, haven't they? Towson breaks the smoke, Alexi backs away. Snacks and Rez in middle, Towson and Hypex with his AWP outside the B bomb site. And Navi with all the play towards the middle of the map from GamerLegion, Wonderful now positioned here with Yom. Perfectly timed.
Navi tightened this up right towards the end of the half. Getting a couple of extra rounds to work with to make sure this is a tight game going into the break. I'm sure Blade is going to make great use of that halftime break as well. Mikaze, Ima, and Alexi B confirm it 6-6 and tight game. GamerLegion showing up here in the grand final, a half littered with highlights.
We wanted GamerLegion, we got GamerLegion on Anubis. They showed up this time, winning out the early battle to take some control of this map. Things are tied at 6-6, but you've got Towson, you got Rez still, Hypex and PR, all the engine of GamerLegion that got them to this point. They're having impact on this map, and they're fighting back and contesting NAVI.
Yeah, I mean, early again, we see a timeout come out from Blade. Wasn't happy with what he was seeing. They were able to go on to win a couple more rounds after that. Then we've seen that clutch from Hypex. Frustration from NAVI starting to seep through, but they pulled themselves together. They got the final 2 rounds of the half, and we now sit at 6-6 as we transition to NAVI's T side.
Pistol round is live. Dooley's on Hypex. A little bit of utility for the CT side. Makaze with a Molotov, Ema and Alexi with smokes and a flash. There is a stack of defense in middle, but where does this utility get placed?
Yeah, Makaze up first. Hypex ready. Joe Berettas looking the wrong direction. Makaze just gonna walk in, gets a free kill. Hypex at least gets the trade, but there's 3 frags coming so quickly from NAVI. And it's just Towson and PR left, and they're split up completely, so it has to be one individual heroic play. And Towson, oh well, he's taking the first couple of steps in that direction. Bit and Wonderful both dead, and Towson blinded, trying to get away, and he's made it into the cave. So all of a sudden, a 2v2, and this round is completely doable as Towson steps up again.
Oh, the double swing though, Towson not ready. PR saved his life and steps into the next fight. Alexi brought down. Pistol for GamerLegion, and it's all Towson.
That is sick from Towson. The fact he's managed to do that. The first couple of kills are great, but it's the fact he gets away. Like the fact he gets back to the cave and doubles up with PR. It's great composure.
I mean, you could see how confident he was. He stands out in the open for a long time. He felt he had the hot hand after those 2 kills after this one. I was really, really worried he was going to get caught by the flash, caught in the open, but able to stay alive just long enough for PR to arrive and help him out. Good 2v2 victory for GamerLegion. Both pistols have gone their way on this map, but they have to win the second round. They haven't been able to do that when they've won the pistol yet.
Yeah, no bomb plant for NAVI though, so it's not a force bias. There's a couple of upgraded Deagles, and one of them dead already. I mean, Bit, what a different story it is for him from Mirage to Anubis. There's a masterclass of Mirage, and just living in frustration on map 2. 2 and 9.
That'll happen on the CT side, Anubis. Tough map for the pros to be able to get comfortable on, especially as bomb site anchors. I think it's the nightmare map for them. Makaze gonna step in with the Deagle and just try and find that opening kill, but Snacks wants nothing to do with the fight.
Coming at that A site. 2 defending players, Rez and PR. PR up first. M4 at range, could be an easy kill onto Wonderful. The other 2 come in swiftly, and PR makes sure it's done. So GamerLegion with an 8th round. NAVI with a buy coming up here. It's going to be AK-47s coming out. Can't afford the AWP yet.
I'm loving this battle back. I love seeing GamerLegion actually put a test towards NAVI. They're going to be playing at the first stage of the IEM Cologne Major coming up. So, I mean, having this kind of a performance in the grand finals, again, getting accustomed to the kind of pressure, the kind of environment you have to play in when you get into the playoffs of these events. It's a much, much smaller skill than we'll see in Cologne, but any experience you get in the environment is valuable, and good to see them respond well.
Oh, Rez somehow made it out with this. How has he got away with a kill? Rez should have died away earlier, but Alexi at least getting the trade. And then a team dink as well from Ima. Alexi just spins around confused as to where it's coming from.
I think if that was Bit who took the team damage, he might have just turned around and shot his teammate as well.
Yeah,
he might just be on the edge.
I mean, if you're GamerLegion, obviously you can't see your opponents right now, but if they just keep this up, this could spiral for NAVI into a situation where they just can't mentally get out of it.
Good spot for Towson over towards E-Box. He spots one. That brings Hypex and Snacks over, but brings them over to their death.
All right, that helps a bit. That's a better round from him. 3 kills. He comes out with the rifle, carves up the defenses. Plank comes in, and Bit's won the round on his own.
That's way too easy in a 4-on-3 to give up 2 kills like that. Towson repositions, takes away the intel that he'd had on how Bit's playing it. Never expected Bit to be that aggressive. Oh, it just falls apart. That stops so much momentum now. NAVI keeping things close, not letting GamerLegion extend the lead. 7-8. Money's still just fine for the GamerLegion defense. They'll be buying right back up into this to challenge again in round 16. NAVI replenishes with AK-47s as well, so they get a little bit stronger moving forward also. And we're going to start getting into that territory where every round for GamerLegion, money's starting to get low, so they got to be careful about that reset. Just 2 kills walking through smoke, trading out the third one. Beautiful round from Bit to get NAVI back in, and yeah, deep sigh of relief. This will be interesting to watch just because Navi's CT side was so disruptive, right? We had those smokes out towards the stairs. We had the constant peeks from A main. Bit was getting a couple kills in that fashion, a few pushes out B main to get information. It looks like GamerLegion line up to do something very, very similar here. Wonderful just backs away. Perfect timing for this, and Ema spots it out. Luckily stays alive, and both sides happy to just call the stalemate.
GamerLegion just backing away, but they might go back for a second dip. Here's the flash. Out they go. All right, Ema. Oh, it's tough. It's awkward, but Wonderful goes in and makes sure the trades come in. Now he's ready for a follow-up as well. And that grenade is going to stop Hypex from even considering that maneuver. Got Makaze now making his way through middle, Molotoving out PR, so he can't help in mid at all. So under a minute left on the clock, an all-important fight picked up here for Rez.
Oh, this is getting a little bit scrappy across the map. A lot of isolated 1v1s. Alexi now going to lead the way into the bomb site. One at pillars, one behind the site. Good trade. Can't turn for the second fast enough. Leaves Bits all on his lonesome. 1v2. "25 seconds to piece it together. Rez goes passive as PR treks across the map.
Yeah, for Bit, you know, such a quiet start to this map, but that 3K in the previous round, is that going to be enough to inspire him to win up this 1v2? 10 seconds, limited time. Bit has to go for the plant, and they start spamming him, so he realizes there's nowhere safe to play. So on time, he's lost this.
I don't even know. He's probably going to go down after the... Okay, there's the headshot. Now you're not going to want to... Okay, Rez, you want to find that kill at the end, but Bit's got it, so takes the money away. Even in a victory, it's going to be a very expensive win for GamerLegion.
Yeah, I have to stay alive there, Bit. If he dies, I mean, it's disaster for him individually, but able to stand tall.
Third and final timeout called by NAVI. They got to have a good sense of where the money's at for both sides. It's busted on theirs. Not a whole lot to play with. Mac-10 and Galil coming out light on utility. But equally they know in that round, Bit taking all those extra weapons away right at the tail end. The 2 kills in a loss has done the exact same thing to the defense. So no better time, Blade says, for this third timeout. And he's got orders for Alexi. He's got details for him. Exactly how he wants the round to play out. Round 17, a GamerLegion victory means they're on the path to a map win and tying up this grand final series. For NAVI, it's their chance to close the gap, tie things up, and continue fighting to take Anubis away from GamerLegion.
You got Rez, who was in the role that Imo was playing in the first half, trying to be a nuisance around middle. Started towards the hole, just having a peek down, but not taking any initial contact. Now Bit just looking down canal, making sure no one's getting aggressive or being disruptive here. And GamerLegion are giving NAVI the space to play with.
Yeah, not nearly as disruptive, which means if you sit back against a tactical team, can get tough. PR's been really, really good so far. Gets the spot, drops away. Stalls out the A main play with utility, so GamerLegion can refocus their players towards middle. Feels like Alexi spotted one. Makaze looking up towards the hole.
Yeah, Makaze's made it past, but this is the first fight. It's going to be Rez and Alexi B. Perhaps Imma, actually. He had the rifle out a little bit of a wider angle for him, so Rez drops. Lexi B is going to be very happy about this upgrade, but as soon as he goes around the corner, that upgrade is short-lived as Hypex gets that trade. But what's the response from Navi?
Now that there's so much attention in middle, they feel bit. It's time to slide into the A bomb site, but that kill's going to pull them back because it's Mikaze's turn to slide into a gap. And this is the danger of Navi. This is the danger of just playing standard Counter-Strike, playbook Counter-Strike against them, is they will pick you apart because they're just better at the playbook.
Yeah, they just seesaw you into your death towards the end of this round. And
such a good understanding. Like, Bit recognizes he has the opening with all the presence in middle, but when the next kill comes out, he's like, okay, well, I actually don't need to challenge this. I don't need to take this risk because now it's someone else's turn. The system for Navi just works perfectly in that round.
And they move up on PR, trying to get some exits here, PR. Finishes off wonderful. Hypex is right there with him. Mikaze holding on. PR's into the kill. And an AK-47 now picked up. Bits on the long flank.
Yeah, I mean, he'd love to take that away. Bomb's going to blow up. PR's going to start moving a little bit further away. So should be there for the waiting arms of Bit and CT spawn. He's taking his time. And Bit gets it at the end. Right at the tail end. Takes everything away.
And that's massive because there's absolutely nothing worth talking about right now for GamerLegion.
There was no
double eco territory right now.
Yeah, and they would love to force buy around an AK-47. That obviously ain't happening whatsoever. Congratulations. Round 18, and that victory for Navi takes the money out of the hands, but they force up GamerLegion. Deagles and 5-7s.
Yeah, let's see if they can pull this off. We've seen it before.
Yeah, they were really deadly with them in the first half, weren't they? The Deagle rounds were kind of what got them going and kept them in the half until they woke up with the rifles.
First bit of nade damage landing towards Bit. Send some back. Obviously, GamerLegion really hoping that Navi come in towards this A site. That's why they've got the stack, 4 players.
Hey, look how cautious Navi are being, though. Everyone far back in the opening, they know the economic situation. Taking that AK-47 away, likely a force buy is the strongest upgraded pistol, so making sure they have distance to handle whatever is thrown at them. And so far, so good. They've picked the right side. Towson burns inside the Molotov. Information passed over to Ema on the other side of the wall.
Towson stepping out with the 5-7. It's going to be Mikaze. Straight away there first. Towson gone. Advantage siding with Navi for the time being, but 35 seconds to try and find your finishing move, and they found it towards B, no problem. So Navi realize it's empty. They're not walking into a stack. There's no tricks laid for them here, and they've got a tight game. So great to see Navi picking up the pace to kick off the second half here. Looking a little bit touch and go. You started to worry, perhaps, for Navi that maybe some tilt was setting in.
I mean, I think we have to just kind of assume it is with the way that we saw Blade's second time out and how emphatic and frustrated he was. The image of Bit through a lot of this. Yeah, there's been some stresses for Navi in this, and I think you gotta think about too the pressure they place on themselves coming into these grand finals after finally beating Vitality. You know, the comments that we had from them just a couple of events in a row being like, if you don't beat Vitality in an event, the trophy doesn't mean anything. So they've accomplished that. This is a very meaningful trophy for Navi, for their own mental game, for the own obstacles they've had to overcome. And that's where you see some of the frustration bubbling to the surface. But it seems like they've got things settled and calmed down now. 2 in a row, 3 of the last 4 in the favor of Navi. And now going up against a defense that doesn't have the money to fight back. No upgrades this time. Couple of 5-7s, a Deagle added in late by Snacks, no armor behind it.
Navi going to keep things quiet. Just spread out, not walking into any of these traps whatsoever. Grenade going to go forward and soften up Rise down to 59.
These rounds kind of feel like the calm before the storm. Like everyone's playing very slow. No one's changing anything up. There's a stack here in the middle, so nice trade. But when the guns come out in the next round for GamerLegion, that's where I'm interested to see which of these teams is going to bring the fight. Which of these teams is going to call something different, break out of the playbook.
Okay. Only losing one player. And now NAVI back into the lead. A 10-9 lead with a bye coming in here for GamerLegion. Be interested to see if Hypex does go for the AWP.
It'd be glass cannon. I was thinking the same thing. If he want, we haven't seen it in the second half in his hands just yet. The money hasn't been there with kind of the nature of this game.
It's really sad to see that for GamerLegion, considering how impactful he's been for them throughout this tournament, and even in that first half.
Well, considering how impactful Wonderful with the AWP was on the CT side of Anubis as well. He was a beast. Wonderful at the moment, sitting at 21 kills on the map, leading the way for everyone.
Yeah, keeping up his MVP level performance here. We got Mikaze and Bit making their way down into the water. It's about to be a challenge against Snacks and Talsum if they were to commit beyond that smoke, but they won't. And Rez will not nip in behind them, so they will have the space to play with.
I think they want to hit this timing, though. IEM and Alexi creeping closer to B main. They want to split this very, very fast. Snacks is about to have a lot of love headed his direction.
Oh, the nade actually hit his opponent. He hit Mikaze with a grenade, so he gets the sound cue knowing he's close. IEM comes in with that headshot. Snacks is gone. Advantage NAVI as they now charge it quicker with this round. And look at this from Wonderful. Winning behind two of them. Merciless from Wonderful. No chance whatsoever. Rips the heart out of GamerLegion. 11-9. It's been a competitive map finally from GamerLegion, but it's starting to feel like NAVI are ramping up for the close.
Yeah, well, when the games are close and the pressure is on, the best thing you can rely on and lean on is the system of Counter-Strike you play as a team, and NAVI's system is just way, way cleaner. The change of pace, so many rounds from NAVI in this half have been slow progressions, utility, taking space, going through all the details. And this is a change of style that Snacks clearly didn't expect, standing tall, just defending outside of E-Box. Never expected Alexi to crank things up in B main. And now the defense crumbling every step. NAVI take a 2-round lead up to 11. They've let GamerLegion stay in this map. They've let GamerLegion keep it close, and now just showing the elevation that they have. A new level found.
Yeah, they can really step it up. Just that next level, and GamerLegion aren't able to keep up with it right now, and they don't have the money to purchase the resources required to keep up. So coming into this round, you're going to be sitting with that rifle that Rez has. Everybody else is going to go to a pistol, which means you're going to be conceding map point in all likelihood to NAVI.
And there's the other mental effects of that too. It's been against a force buy, an eco, and a full buy, but in the last 3 rounds, NAVI have only lost 2 players. These wins have just been so strong. They found solutions, NAVI, that have made these rounds very, very easy for them. And once again, a change up. This still back to that slower style, spread out default from NAVI. A little bit more lean towards A to open things up, but you can see all those dots starting to kind of start moving in canals towards the position of Snacks and Towson at the B bomb site.
Bit going in towards Connector onto the open. Smoke's going to block him.
I think he spotted 2. He knows Snacks was close up. He saw a little bit of an arm at the pillar, flushed into the open. Ima's got that.
Yeah, good teamwork again from NAVI, using utility to punish. Now Snacks, this is the kind of Snacks play you like to see. The knives come out, the slash in the cover. They don't spot him. And Snacks gets away with 1. He had a chance for 2, but really needed that second if this round was going to happen for GamerLegion.
Yeah, that second one could have turned things on its head. Valiant attempt from Snacks. Sneaky inside the smoke. It's an old classic of his.
Surprised they didn't start looking for him once he starts slashing around, once he blocks them.
Well, at this point, if you're GamerLegion, the priority has got to be Hypex saving this M4. I know it's not a lot. I know it's nothing exciting to talk about and bring forward in the next round, but it's really the only thing they have.
Yeah, it's maximizing their percentages, but GamerLegion need every single remaining round in regulation just to get this one into overtime.
This has felt close, and we haven't talked about NAVI blowing them out of the water because the scoreboard has been there, but this is now 5 rounds in a row for NAVI on the T side of Anubis. 6 of the last 7 in their favor. Since the guns have come out in this second half, again, they've just showed they have a different level that they can hit that GamerLegion has no chance of reaching today. 12-9. And 3 opportunities to head into the 3rd map of these grand finals with a 2-map lead. 3rd map will be Nuke.
That is what NAVI are in pursuit of. Another trophy to lift. Alexi B, no stranger to the IEM finals. This is his 8th final, but only won one of them. It was in Rio in 2024, so looking to add another one from South America to North America. Looking likely that NAVI will pick up another IEM championship. They're going to start moving their way through the smokes. Pit to take down Rez first.
You can just see, I mean, GamerLegion's been thrown completely off rhythm of this map. Not sure of the timings that Navi's going to bring out. The timings are changing each and every time. Utility's perfect.
Again, it's Bit out. Goes again, and Bit's just following up, kill after kill. So easy now for NAVI to get into position to close out this map.
This dude's just gotten stronger as he got angry in this map. Yeah. The more pissed off you saw him getting, the more kills he's just been racking up ever since then.
It was like the Hulk right now. We got Hypex waiting here on the beach. But look at the position of Wonderful. I mean, what can you do if you're GamerLegion? Look how tentative you have to be just to try and get off the beach. PR, he's going to be knocked over last. He's got a little bit of fight in him yet. But for NAVI, it'll be the second map of the grand final being gone their way. It's Anubis also picked up for NAVI at 13-9. Much more competitive from GamerLegion, but still not enough. NAVI are in full control, and they have their eyes on the prize. You've been fantastic all week. Let's get it going here on Nuke. Again, GamerLegion will start on the T side, right? They've had a T side start every single time so far. Now they've got to do it on Nuke as well. It's going to be real tough.
A huge task. We just saw the prowess tactically of NAVI on Anubis, picking them apart. Nuke is an even better map for the tactical teams. It's going to be a rush towards the ramp room. Bit defending, and he's not backing away.
No, he's sticking around. He's confident, but he will be picked apart because of that. But they're actually just going to go straight into his hell, which might walk right into the NAVI trap they have laid for them because Wonderful's ready, but just a single kill. So Alexi B, can he get anything? No, but he at least keeps his life. He backs away, and he gets down into the site.
Yeah, but he doesn't probably have a great read of where they're going to finish up. This pistol round's getting a little bit weird. Makaze holds his nerve, going to walk into the crosshair of Towson, who snaps down, can't find the kill. But pressure on Makaze. The lone players, IEM and Alexi, slide together in the upper bomb site, and now just the two of them remain against the 4 players of GamerLegion.
Yeah, taking Bit away first really throw a spanner into the works for the defense.
There we go.
Yeah, clean headshot for Towson as well onto IEM. Just Alexi B. And they got time as well, 50 seconds as GamerLegion start to figure out where they want to end this round.
Well, just talking about the prowess of NAVI on a tactical and strategic level, and then they get a B-rush sent their way and get absolutely overwhelmed by it. So simple tactic called to great effect. Hypex hasn't been able to find Alexi, who slipped in towards Mini, and now he's found an escape. But there's no chance of winning this round. Bomb's going to be planted. Downstairs as Towson punches in the numbers. And you know what? GamerLegion's been great in pistols in this series. The issue for them is coming in the second rounds.
Yeah, right. It's the force buys that come through from NAVI, so let's see.
But they can't have that problem here. T-side nuke, we talk about it all the time. Like, these rounds are so critical. If you win the pistol on the T-side, being able to gain a couple of fluffy rounds when you have economic advantage, when they have weaker weapons, you can feel so restricted later on in the half. So you gotta string these rounds together. Get out to 3 or 4. Get yourself a leg up before the guns come out for the NAVI side.
GamerLegion brings some energy early into the pistol. I liked when the coach was talking and saying that, all right, guys, like we're trying to be perfect and we're not getting to that level right now. Let's just enjoy being in the BO5 final and play the Counter-Strike that got them there. I think they did start to show that over on Anubis. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough in the end.
Well, I mean, I think in the first map, they got out the pressure of just playing in the grand final on this stage with the knowledge of what they were stepping into. I think on Anubis, they found the pressure of, oh, we're playing well and we actually have a chance to win. That's a different kind of pressure. So I guess on some level, you're looking here and you're like, which one are they going to encounter on Nuke?
Neither handled. We've got Wonderful waiting down in ramp, looking to crack things open with a scout. It's going to be a bit hard cleared out by PR. At least they know what they're up against now. I'm sure that'll be the conversation going around GamerLegion as well. They'll have it in their minds that we can't lose to this kind of scenario again. Alexi B at least getting 1 here for NAVI, but then Makaze getting damaged down to 8 HP. Alexi on 7. There's just no world in which this one gets out of hand from this point.
No, not really. Actually, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing on GamerLegion too, like in terms of getting some kills and just kind of pausing. They seem very much like Snax is doing a lot more of controlling the pacing of how they scale and how they move around the map together for the moment. And Gone is wonderful. Clean round. Very clean round from GamerLegion. They're up 2-0. I mean, we talk all this about Nuke being a tough map for them to overcome NAVI on, and it will be, but at least if you're GamerLegion, you've played this map 3 times throughout the groups, or throughout Atlanta, throughout this event, and you've won all 3 of them. So you've got a little bit of like experience and positive experience. You beat Pain 13-6, you beat Liquid 13-6, you beat Sinners 13-8, all in the past week. So yeah, tough task you're facing off on this map, but you're gonna feel confident coming into it. Round 3 is live. We've got pistols for NAVI, Deagles, P250s, nothing crazy.
I mean, this is exactly what you need if you're GamerLegion, right? You're going to get a 3-0 start on your T side of Nuke. If you're fighting an uphill battle the entire time, at least give yourself a good start. You got Snacks and Rez fighting outside, Bit sending 1 kill back with a Deagle, but just some confidence for GamerLegion going outside and dueling against the weaker weapons.
Yeah, happy to take in the range fights, and now you just got to protect the 1 weapon that's been dropped. You know they're going to come for it. Bit close up, takes a shot with the Deagle, well handled from Snacks. He backs away. They know exactly where Ema is as well. You're going to assume he's outside, and that'll be 3 rounds for GamerLegion.
PR just controls the kill on Ema. So 3-0 start for GamerLegion. Fist bumps going out, looking composed, but this is where things get a lot more difficult. The first big obstacle in the way. NAVI purchasing up. They're going to have an AWP here for Wonderful.
Yeah, they got that out real quick. So no luxury of having a map without the op going into the first gun round. Tough for Snacks right out of the gate. MP7 on Rez. He'll be looking for an upgrade, a free upgrade for that. Wonderful's op gonna head outside and stick around towards a more centralized location outside CT spot. Upper rush, and PR handles the first.
Yeah, straight into the side. PR and Rez with the first couple of kills. Bit trying to come back in, but they're not ready for Snacks to be so directly below them. And with that distraction, Telson comes through, and NAVI, that is such a difficult round to handle, just thrown at them from GamerLegion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a change of pace, just you kind of blow them out of the water. First gun round, you know there might be a few Molotovs missing, a few nades missing, a few resources to stop those fast rushes. And a nice, easy one. I love the way Snacks has opened up this 3rd map. I mean, you even have the money if you were really feeling aggressive and really feeling a little bit crazy. GamerLegion could go try and hunt down this AWP. But for the moment, happy to just take a 4-0 start. And we saw some frustrations on Anubis for NAVI as well. I mean, primarily from Bit. We saw it from Blade as well. It was clear in the early going the team wasn't really clicking in every single way they would have liked. Blade got them snapped back into shape really, really quickly, but if that frustration is still there lingering, this could be a slow start for NAVI. It's round 5, and they have yet to begin on here on Nuke. M4 being picked up. I think we're gonna see a buy out of NAVI as they want to fight back.
Loving the start, GamerLegion, but let's see if they can continue it. Again, PR just getting close to the squeaky door quite quick. Gonna smoke it, gonna go. Charging out again, this time gonna be stopped by Wonderful. But they're not stopping. They're trying to get out. They're trying to send legions of players in towards the site, but Makazi and Alexi handle the rest, and that quicker play this time does not work.
Yeah, nice when it's the surprise, when it's the uppercut. This time NAVI was ready for the eventuality. Wonderful starting in heaven, able to get a quick shot in the execute. That takes out the teeth of the attack. And this time, I mean, previous in the last round, PR swings out Hut, gets 1 kill, creates space. None of that's created this time. And Wonderful loses the gap on Hypex, who drops down and is just desperate for a bomb plant.
Door's open.
He's got a minute to play with. 4 players defined. A win is unlikely, but any kills you get, anything you could do to limit the money. NAVI still haven't established any kind of economy. So any damage in this round is excellent from Hypex. Pit's gonna rotate through ramp room to make sure he can pick up the bomb. Makaze not playing inside the bomb site to make sure that he's gonna be safe. And Hypex peering into his last option, which is drop down, get the bomb planted, and see what happens afterwards.
And no one from NAVI is going to offer anything up here to make it an easier time for Hypex. They're going to play together as a four-man unit, come back in on this retake. Hypex got to deal with them. No! You can't do it again! Hypex, gets close to the low HP player. But Hypex will go down to Mikaze, but you start to believe when he gets those first two in heaven.
You can see exactly how it's going to happen, right? Get the first kill, the low HP is an easy transfer, and he even had Mikaze up next. That could have put Alexi into an awkward 1v1. Valiant effort out of Hypex, but NAVI get on the board first. But again, those kills are valuable. Taking those weapons away in a losing effort, forcing the rebuys.
Definitely see Hypex. He's got that clutch factor about him. But unable to get a kill towards HUD. If he does, and Mikaze is down to that 1v1 and almost back Hypex to win it.
With the clutches he's had in these playoffs, no reason he's going to be supremely confident going into all those. He probably doesn't care that it's a 1v4.
He's got the AWP out now, though. Go up against Wonderful.
And now that these guns are out and the CT side has got all their utility, all the bells and whistles, Snack's going to have to call a different game. Can't just gulch some momentum based off the success of the previous round. The repeated upper hits went by the wayside. So now we descend more towards the territory and the strengths of NAVI, which is a tactical effort. Slow-paced as they start moving in towards ramp room. Behind the smoke, Taliesin has position. Snack's going to deploy a wall outside, but he's the only one out there really to activate and utilize it to any effect. Mikaze up on top of the box is going to get on top of the roof. Spots one. He's been spotted himself, so drops down, but that's a little bit of information gleaned.
Wonderful. Flicking down, misses the shot. Needs to be careful not to be overwhelmed. That's a great grenade. Look how much damage that has done. Rise down to 42. Now Snack starting to activate. Was worried about the smoke timing there when it was fading away. Snack turns for just a second, but unfortunately the timing does not help him out at all because Mikaze comes back. Advantage now for NAVI. 25 seconds left for GamerLegion.
Snacks was pulling them back into an upper hit because he was going to wrap around heaven. Now it's all gone wrong.
Well, it's only a 1-for-1 for Bit, but you still got plenty of players here. But Hypex extends into the open. An easy kill for Imma. And now Taliesin and Rez with no other option but to back off and try and save these weapons. 10 seconds on the clock.
Really heads up from Mikaze. So much quiet around the map. I think everyone from NAVI and Mikaze spotted Snacks at the get-go, but I think he's just thinking, where could he have gone? Where's this guy disappeared off to? Mikaze will die at the end of the day. Good job from Taliesin to grab one more on the exit, but a second round for NAVI. And if Mikaze doesn't find that kill when he does, Snacks has a very deadly backstab, either wrapping around up towards heaven or going towards ramp room. But when he goes down while his team is in transition, it just kind of ends the round there. Too slow to come to fruition, and a timeout called by GamerLegion, talking things over. Lead is dwindling. But with the pistol round and with winning the first four on your T side, you only need to add a couple more throughout the rest of this half to feel good going into the break. Both teams laser focus on the task at hand. NAVI creeping closer to that trophy. Round 7. Op is out again for Hypex, same for Wonderful. Full buys for both squads. Money's in a good place as well, so they can dig into the playbooks.
Yeah, good to see a clean start to the map here, not the back and forth with weaker weapons here and that. Just really brawling with all the best guns you've got. Wonderful taking the first damage. Hypex the same, but he's going to move outside. Look at this confidence in the open, though. It's a little bold, and Hypex has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Mikaze takes him away.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flex, and it looks a little bit silly, but I actually don't mind it whatsoever. You're going to have these players stepping up against NAVI to make this work. You're not going to win this half by tactics, and Hypex is at a hot hand.
Well, this round has not worked out, though, for GamerLegion. Those aggressive steps forward have cost them 2 early kills in Snacks and Hypex. And you have to rely upon PR, Taliesin, and Rez, the rifling core of this squad, as they head back in her.
And the defense just looks so solid. Like, they haven't had to budge. They haven't really had to move. Not too perturbed or afraid of lower palm sight, of anyone having crossed the secret. They've already got IEM down there just spotting to be safe. The defenders at the upper palm sight are well entrenched and in good, strong positions.
Drop down into the vent, that's the bomb, and that's IEM holding on. So that was your last-ditch effort, trying to evacuate down the lower bomb site.
I mean, look how hard they're working just for one kill. You know, like, look how hard they've had to move around the map, how many different looks they've had to take, how many different pieces they'd have to find and try and do. And it's all just for one kill and an inability to do anything after the fact.
Yeah, you have that unfortunate feeling where you just have to back away, realizing it's a lost cause. So go and save these two AK-47s. NAVI will go up to 3 rounds now, but it does have that sort of feeling that NAVI are getting into full control. I've seen it a couple of times in the series already, where that CT side just puts up a wall that you just can't get past.
GamerLegion's best success in this game is going to be if they can cause chaos and cause some disorganized rounds out of NAVI, right? If you can make a round or a situation just feel so insane that NAVI's not able to really read what's coming, the protocols can't be put into place, it's just chaos of individuals battling and making decisions, and everything happens so fast. That's where I think GamerLegion can find some of the edge behind the skills of these individuals. But the experience, the structure, the strategy of NAVI, it's going to be too much if you're just going to be playing slow rounds and trying to make a move.
There's all the charging outside. Mikaze's going to hear those steps heading down towards Secret. Res all the way down. Mikaze, he's got the opening headshot. Snacks is gone. Advantage for NAVI. Attempting to make a play out through ramp room, though. Wonderful. His silence PR's attempt. 3v5 again here for GamerLegion, and all the rotations have already been made here for NAVI. They have reinforcements on this B bomb site. Bit is so ready for the fight against Res. One by one, GamerLegion fall, and they crumble on this lower site.
There's just a tax you have to pay if you want to gain any ground against NAVI. Every step, they've lost a single player.
Yeah, it's crippling. Now IEM around the back. He's got 2 players about to go out through control room, but he's holding if they backtrack. Taliesin clearing out Dark. Meanwhile, the rest of NAVI starting to rotate down. Wonderful peeks out, and look at that. All the doors swing open at the same time. NAVI a hive mind as they head to 4.
Yeah, it just looks so clean in this comeback. It happened so fast and so convincingly. All tied up, but not really a whole lot positive for GamerLegion these last 4 rounds. NAVI has just picked up right where they left off with the dominance on Anubis at the end of that map. 3 rounds straight, only 4 players have been lost for NAVI. The defense is just clicking. Back to Tech 9s, back to fast pace towards the upper bomb site. We're gonna try a rush again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fake out towards A because you want to try and get through ramp, but Bit is so good at holding the ramp room. Good luck getting past him. Rip to the pistols. And now 5-4, NAVI win it in seconds. Just leveling up every step of the way. We talk about coming into this grand final, the difference in experience, the difference in pedigree of NAVI when it comes to the big games, right? Into the grand final so many times. And for GamerLegion, you're having to take a bunch of grand finalist rookies onto the stage today.
It's a learning experience for sure. They're getting a really rough one right now. I'm interested to see what Snacks is going to call here in this round, because GamerLegion need to change the nature of this game. 5 rounds have been so dominant. You're starting to feel like you have no chance in this map if you're GamerLegion. This needs to be a round that you can provide a win.
This just shows you how important those first 3 rounds of the game are here on Nuke T side.
Especially in such a, when the one team is such a heavy favorite as well.
Yeah. Well, Mikaze already at red. He's been so confident, so disruptive, but this time going to be caught by Res. So an opening kill finally going back in favor of GamerLegion. What can they do with it, though?
Well, IEM might try and even things up here. Going to go for a little bit of a peek. There's the utility streaming over for the smoke wall. Actually, not a peek. He commits himself, and oh, lovely shot. Res never even had a chance.
So not much is the answer to it. The advantage immediately goes back, and a 4v4 re-established, but a minute left on the clock. And Snacks making his move outside, deploying the smoke towards main. But as this is happening, as some ground is being taken outside for the T side, Wonderful was getting closer and closer to Hut, but he dies in the aggressive play. Taliesin's ready for that headshot. Alexi B getting caught, side of the smoke. And this is more like it from GamerLegion. A 4v2, make it 1 as Bit is left alone. He will take his fight, he will take damage in the engagement, and they've now got the information as to where Bit is playing from. He's doing as much damage as he can here.
He can go for this, they got plenty of money.
And they're pretty separated, but that nade drops him down to 5 HP, and Towson makes sure Bit cannot step into the clutch. A 5th round picked up here for GamerLegion, and yes, we're gonna leave this half saying that they stalled out, but with that lead, with the advantages they picked up with the first 2 rounds in play, 5 T rounds is already solid for GamerLegion.
Yeah, they're in an okay place at the moment. I think the biggest thing is leaving this half feeling like you're contending, like you're fighting, and it's good to get that round there to kind of disrupt the momentum of NAVI. They were on a huge stretch of round wins. They'd had 5 in a row, so you at least make that disjointed so you can bring a different vibe into the halftime break. Timeout for Blade. I don't think it's any cause for panic. Nothing like we saw on Anubis whatsoever. I think here it's just about maintaining this good level that they've had for the past 5 rounds. It's don't let this slip away. Don't let them take any kind of a lead moving forward. That round is opened up by Makaze being aggressive at red box, picked off. Emo was able to find a response and an equalizing kill, but the map was opened up with some of those picks. Wonderful goes down next. 2 rounds remain in this first half of Nuke.
Again, PR with that broken door. Blinded, keeps his head in the corner, but Ima still finds him. Can't hide away long enough. NAVI again, back to the opening kills. A little bit of reprieve from that in the previous round if you're GamerLegion, but right back to normality.
Outside, Makaze playing more passive towards single box. Snacks and Hypex making their move there. Ema and Alexi have the upper bomb site controlled. Alexi inside hut as well. No one from GamerLegion making any kind of aggressive move at the moment. Hypex was up on the silo. That was about it. Snacks ready to make his play, but man down, and they still haven't picked a location. Double up setup as well. Bit's got his over towards ramp room with a very, very deep line of sight. And he just mowed you down with an M4, so it's a swap of weaponry that you might not expect if you head in that direction. But back towards the upper site we go.
More Snacks getting in towards Garage. Low HP, but still a threat once he gets in behind enemy lines. But it's quiet for now, about to get loud as GamerLegion coming through hut. And Wonderful has missed his shot, which creates an opening to try and get out here. Ima's the next problem. Snacks gets caught. Rez actually got a secondary kill getting in towards the site. And now you've got that double up setup problem of retaking because Hypex and Towson have come through with big shots, leaving Bit alone, and he doesn't have the rifle, just the AWP, and Hypex takes his head off and takes GamerLegion into the lead of the game.
All right, well, the changeup hasn't been one of pacing, hasn't been one of making fast rushes or aggressive plays outside or anything like that. That round from GamerLegion, the changeup is just being quiet. They just gotta chill for 40 seconds. NAVI lose track of them, and how are you supposed to call and get ahead of rotations if you got no idea where they are? Well done from GamerLegion, just going quiet, and it's all Rez. Time and time again, we know he's been stepping up for this team. That's a sick clear up in the rafters. 6-5. GamerLegion making this far more competitive than we would have thought. Opening kill again for NAVI as Snacks falls outside.
Oh, Bit hanging out with the AWP this time, hoping that they actually come to his position early on, and they are starting to provide. Edging closer and closer.
They've gone more contact heavy, though. I think they might be in trouble here.
Yeah, they might not expect him to still have the AWP out, but Bit has not connected the shot. He drops down lower, under a minute on the clock, and at least Bit has some help here, right? The rifle's rotated in with him.
Well, elsewhere for GamerLegion, Snacks calls them back from that ramp room play, leaves PR as a lurker if someone wants to poke their head back up from the defense, but they're going to try and crack into the upper bomb site. 42 seconds left on the clock. All 3 players headed towards Squeak Door. PR going to throw a little bit of a fake with utility downstairs, but Alexi's not fooled.
Alexi, no problem on the first, goes back, can't quite get the second, so GamerLegion still on for this. Mikaze making that very unlikely now with that kill on PR. That ball plant is coming through, but it's got to be Hypex, and he unscopes at the wrong time, and Wonderful's out with a final kill. We've got a tie game again. NAVI bring it back, 6-6, CT side Nuke.
If you're hoping for these grand finals to extend, GamerLegion's done just about as well as you could have hoped for. Battling very, very tough here on Nuke, taking a tie score, 6-6 into the second half. NAVI very, very close, one map away from lifting that trophy, one half away from lifting that trophy. So the only question I got for you, Atlanta, do you want to see a fourth map? We're going to be live into the pistol round. Dualies on Towson, utility on Snacks. An all-important pistol round. GamerLegion's fight could end here very, very swiftly. Wonderful outside, and that's a fight he's gonna love to take. P250 wants to find Hypex, has him pinned down inside the garage.
PR hearing the steps, hearing the jump, they're coming at him. Drops on down, plenty of players now coming towards him, but he's handled the pressure well against Mikaze. Another one for PR! And then Bit makes sure he gets at least that trade, but Ruz, backtracking, using some range and not seeing them actually cross into the side. So that's information given on over to
Can't go down here.
Hypex is ready for them, but can he get any of the kills? He will pick up one of the headshots. So a 2v3 still doable for both sides right now, but tough to piece this one together for NAVI.
Well, Wonderful's going to want to step out and maybe cover Heaven, and then you can also cover the vent flank if anyone flies up it. Alexi sliding back now. It's going to take a little bit of time for him to get over towards Hut to start making their move in. Snacks playing underneath Heaven, or excuse me, up in Heaven. I imagine he would let the bomb go down and wait for his teammates to arrive for this retake, and it's priming up to be a 2-on-3. Wonderful and Alexi post plant actually make it a 2-on-2. Haircuts passed out by Wonderful, first kill of the round.
No one offering up the next fight. Wonderful steps towards Rez, who's being so patient, so composed in this.
Oh no.
Composure and patience is going to pay off. You thought for a second it might cost him, but Alexi B, is it his turn to step up with a clutch for NAVI? This would be the 3K, and yes, it is! So easy on that third kill from Alexi B. Cool and composed, and a step towards the trophy from Alexi.
That's so precise. Those are nasty kills from Alexi B. Setting the example for the squad to start this second half in the right way. T-side pistol round won by NAVI. It was a little sketchy though. It was a little bit tough executing what they wanted. They had to kind of improvise a little bit. That's a beauty of a shot from Wonderful. And from here, Alexi just takes over. Well, a second round bye for GamerLegion on the back foot now, Shirley. Scout on Hypex, MP9 on Snacks.
Kaze towards Secret, now dropping down the stairway. Towson's going to hear those steps. Primed himself for the fight. The 5-7 starting to backtrack. And Bit starting to move forward. He's got the open fights he's looking for. He's made it into the garage. That's the bomb. Be careful if you're Alexi. And Bit's going to try and help him. Somehow Rez surviving long enough, but not able to get any impact. So Wonderful cleaning up too. Towson up next. Shadow spot. It doesn't matter. Hypex! Okay, another one from the scout. This guy can hit some nutty shots, and that has just given GamerLegion the player advantage for the time being.
Yeah, but the map is open. There's some space for NAVI to work with. 45 seconds to piece this together. You know where Towson got his kill earlier. He's disappeared on the map, so it's all gone quiet. Now NAVI is going to start having to figure out, piece it together as they move. Scout is dropped all the way back to CT spawn. Bomb is recovered. Hypex pushes up into the open, gets a tag but falls. And that leaves Snacks alone at this upper site.
19 seconds left. Snacks peeking out, does a lot of damage towards him, but the bomb is dropped. Towson is here, 14 seconds left. Try and get back up, and the bomb goes down. He hits the shot, and Towson gets a second. It's absolute chaos in the vent, but it's Towson who thrives in it.
Oh yeah.
And that's the kind of round that'll frustrate Blade more than anything.
Well, I don't know how, we don't see a clutch play out quite like that in too many scenarios. I don't know how many great options there were when the bomb drops. Ema gets the kill in the upper bomb site. You spot the player in vents. Chaotic situation. And Towson just has to pray. Pray as he pulls the trigger and it all works. We're tied at 7, a shocking turnaround that NAVI can scarcely believe. It's an upper rush.
Again, it's fast, it's quick here from NAVI, trying to burst out. Alexi B with the first, Snacks to respond, going again. Towson keeping up the effort from the last round and making sure it isn't unraveled, it isn't undone. And NAVI held back, repelled away from that A site. And it's GamerLegion back into the lead of the game again.
All right, well now things just get weird. Now things are gonna get a little crazy. 1 versus 4 for Wonderful. He does have the bomb. If he can just sneak downstairs, not gonna happen. PR shuts it down. Good upper bomb site defense, ready for the rush. And NAVI set packing back to pistols.
Alexi does well to get out with that opener, but the rest of his teammates stalled out, slowed down. disjointed in the end from NAVI.
There were no other real fights for them to find in the upper bomb site. So, I mean, they kind of take some space, but the retake comes out the rafters. No one is able to get out hut. They couldn't really get any kind of secure position. So now we step into a round with a Deagle on Wonderful, P250 on Alexi, and probably some time given over to Wonderful to investigate to see what he can get. And we saw this kind of resistance from GamerLegion on Anubis as well. It just feels like there's going to be a moment when Navi get it figured out. First kill onto Alexi, now we stream out the hunt. Everyone from GamerLegion ready. Wonderful falls last. A 2-round lead, 9-7 for GamerLegion.
And the great thing about the economy situation for GamerLegion is, you know, you've got to buy even after this, right? So even if you were to concede everybody here, you lose all your opponents, take everybody down, you still have enough money to go into the next round. So it's looking good for GamerLegion for the next few rounds here. So Navi better figure it out pretty quick. You know, you still got a Khalil here for Lexi. You don't have the all-out for Wonderful. All of a sudden, a chance for GamerLegion to get a map win in this series. There's aggression. CT side starting to get confident now, playing with some attitude. Taliesin moving in, bringing down Wonderful and grabbing that opening here for GamerLegion.
That'd be a lovely attitude for them to latch onto if they can keep it up. We haven't seen them able to be disruptive against Navi's attack, Navi's offense too much. They got smoked on Anubis. Navi figured it out and just worked him round after round. So at least here you've put him in a difficult position and funnel him towards Hypex, your upper over in ramp room. He's ready and waiting.
Apex removing big. There's Snacks also entering the feed for GamerLegion. Minute 5 on the clock. Emma and Alexi B with absolutely no shot at doing anything in this round.
Yeah, you can back off a little bit with the advantage. You know exactly. You know they have to come to you now. They're going to have to overextend. The gun round for Navi goes by the wayside in a dominant fashion for GamerLegion. It's going to be a 4-round run for GamerLegion's defense after losing the pistol. The most hopeful situation they've been in yet in these grand finals. Alexi doesn't even have the bomb. He's never going to recover that. He's just looking for some kills. 27 seconds on the clock. And he at least finds one. Damage done, maybe an AWP taken away. Rez is going to drop vents to make sure he can secure that when the round ends.
Yeah, but GamerLegion not offering any other kills up at the moment. Just sitting back. PR can start to pressure him a little bit as the time ticks closer towards 0. It would be absolute disaster if Alexi B was to die after the time, so he heads out to his death. There's not a lot of money still available for NAVI, so 11-7. I mean, that's definitely what we're going to see here from GamerLegion.
Yeah, it feels like it's on the cards, doesn't it? Now you're starting to mix in a few ideas. Now it can change, and I think that's maybe some frustration you probably feel if you're Navi as well, that it feels like they're starting to build up into this. And on the CT side, Nuke, they can really carry that momentum forward.
Guys, they understand that they have nothing to lose. They try to make these moves. They still bring the game back easy.
All right, that's Alexi saying, you know, they feel like they have nothing to lose. They're down 2-0. It's a position Alexi's felt and been in many, many times in his best-of-5 campaigns. So he kind of knows the mentality that they're carrying forward.
Well, the one in particular was the Rio final, right? The only Intel Extreme Masters final that Alexi B's been able to win, where they were down so bad on Ancient against Mal, and they called it all the way back. They called that comeback so early, and were able to pull it off. So there is a certain level of belief in what he says. But in this round, it's going to be tough to see it happening. They got Deagles, Tech 9s.
They wanted to cross the smoke wall down towards Secret, but the defensive Molotov makes it disjointed, a gap in the smoke. They see that. They don't even want to mess with it. It was meant to be like, you know, these cheaper pistols streaming down to Secret, not stopping, trading their way through. So Alexi's got to find a new location. Back to lobby we go, clearing out any aggressive stance inside of the hut, and over towards ramp room is going to be the final play. It's PR to hold on to this.
Sees the utility coming in. Takes that second to drop down lower. 45 seconds left. Hypex trying to get some wall bangs, but they're going to run him down. They're going to put pressure on the scope. He's handling it, no issue. Hypex goes out his second of the round. He'll go back for a little bit more, and maybe a little bit too much. As Alexi B will finally get a kill on towards him, and that gives the AWP over to Wonderful. Will that come back to bite GamerLegion in this round?
Shouldn't be. I mean, PR just doesn't need to give up his life. Force them to peek into you. That's it. Time is an ally. Time is a teammate. There's a little tap. Yeah, shuts him down. Pretty nasty. PR looking for all three. Awkward on the final one.
He's got his knife out. Oh my gosh. So ridiculous. Well, PR, everyone gets a little bit of comedic relief.
A gentleman's battle.
Yeah. Finishes it off with a USP. And that was all about saving some money, though, for this next round for NAVI. So the corner timeout here. They're going to get the AWP out for Wonderful. AK-47 is going to be out on the rest and plenty of utility. And a chance for Blade to get on the mic.
Anubis was starting to build in this direction, though. GamerLegion kind of creeping a little bit closer and closer to the finish line, feeling like they had the advantage, feeling like they had enough rounds to play with, and then NAVI snapped into shape after a Blade timeout and rattled off rounds straight to close it out. So that's got to be a very nerve-wracking prospect at the moment if you're on GamerLegion, and Blade calls this timeout. You remember what just happened in the previous map. This is where you lost it. So a big round for GamerLegion to try and get past, and now you can ask the question, we've seen them get frisky, we've seen them get aggressive and disruptive. Do they want to try and be disruptive in this round out of the timeout? Do they have the courage with the inexperienced players to call something to try and disjoint what NAVI want to do out of the timeout? Round 19 is live. GamerLegion 2 rounds away from map 4, forcing us to Ancient.
Apex wanting to start inside of the vent with the AWP. Got Mikaze moving up past red. Gap and that smoke there for Snacks to go have a peek. And of course he's going to go have a go. Starting to push the smokes. You heard Alexi saying, be aware they're going to push smokes. They're going to try and be disruptive. They have nothing to lose. And they are ready for that first kill. Mikaze going to get traded though as that bomb shifts down lower.
Hypex is here. Off angle with the AWP. Bitten Alexi to challenge around the corner. IEM and Wonderful waiting to move ramp, but they need the success to start here. And they've at least gotten past the angle.
PR, head goes up, but it's Hypex just moving forward, confidence, emboldened by the momentum that GamerLegion currently have. It's a no-scope and a huge step forward to map point here on Nuke. It was looking like it was going to be a clean sweep. It was looking like it was going to be NAVI winning this trophy in 3. But GamerLegion have put up resistance. And even after the timeouts, even after saving money to get the good buyout again, it doesn't matter. They're stopped in their tracks unless Wonderful has been the most valuable player for NAVI.
He's got to go get the bomb, though, with only 20 seconds and having to fetch this and having to find the defenders. It's just way too much to ask.
Yeah, especially with one player being up on A as well. But Wonderful's got the headshot now. The vent dive coming in. He's got his knife out there ready, though. Rez is in the right position. And Wonderful worked hard to get himself into a spot where it looks possible. But Rez, with the time on his side, just stands as he flies up the vent.
Yeah, flip a coin. You're going to stick to the lower bomb site where all that attention has been, or run up the vents and see if you can bypass the defender entirely.
It's a nice try, though, from Wonderful.
Very nice try. This is great from Hypex. Misses the first shot, comes back to help out PR, taking the peek and bit straight out. A little bit too much into the open. 5 chances for GamerLegion to close this out. It's 2-0 in the series for NAVI, but very, very close to GamerLegion. Put 1 on the board and taking us to Ancient.
Bit. Moving up onto the roof here of main. Snacks not overextending. Bit knows what he's up against, but he drops down. He puts the pressure on him. Snacks is elusive though. Look at him. He's hiding away. Still hasn't been found. And in the meantime, his teammates are stepping up and removing the threats that were coming after him. And that bomb is on Alexi P's back.
Yeah, they made it down to secret. 2 players of NAVI, but Alexi had the bomb, so he had to be the last one to cross. IEM can cut off rotations through vents. Alexi and Wonderful just have to worry about the bomb site. That'd be PR, who steps in, but he's in no man's land.
Yeah, into the open. Wonderful's going to drop him. So they're into the site, and all of a sudden, again, NAVI have a real chance of closing out this round. It's got to be a retake if GamerLegion want to win it here and now.
And you don't have to commit to this. You got 5 rounds to play with. You don't have to commit all this economy into a retake if you don't feel it's there. For the moment, 3 on 3. But if Snacks and Towson can't produce anything, Hypex is going to back off with the AWP.
The timing as they look away. Snacks and Towson going to get caught by Wonderful and Imma. And this will not close yet. NAVI finds some life to stay here on Nuke.
Well, let's find out what GamerLegion learned on map 2 on Anubis, where they started creeping closer to that victory, that new sense of pressure stepping in, that you're actually at a position to close out the map and win a map in the grand finals. You got 4 more rounds to play with. If Navi start clawing these back, each and every one of those rounds is going to be a punch in the gut as you still struggle to get the win here on Nuke. Gonna have to see some mental fortitude on display for GamerLegion. They take a timeout. Likely a similar conversation gonna be happening in the TeamSpeak on their camp. 12-8. Blade wants this comeback to keep moving forward. Hypex with 18 kills. Towson leading the way for GamerLegion with 19. PR there on 14. Think back to the first map. They were in single digits. They weren't getting anything done. But now finally warming up into the grand finals to put GamerLegion at a lead and shock Navi, surprise them on this third map, staring down this deficit.
Yeah, felt like the trophy was theirs. Didn't feel like GamerLegion were going to be able to rise to the occasion. But they've grown into the final. Maybe too little too late, but finding some competitive nature now. Well, we really will test the resolve of Navi, won't we? Test the words of Alexi B saying that they can come back into this. Have to remain positive. 4 rounds back. Trying to get this one into overtime. Utility goes outside. And Towson not going to get vision over the top of it. They're going to start PR in secret. They know that Navi have been liking to send players towards secret early in these rounds, so they're going to try and meet them there. But Mikaze, he's taking that opening frag, and they send the nade towards PR. Alexi B's ready for it, and Navi have 3 openers as Mikaze takes a second to remove Towson.
Okay, final boss right now. Navi warming up.
Yeah, there's a little change in the step, isn't there? Here for Navi.
Every timeout's that called, you got to just sit in that silence, listening to your coach talk. Maybe the words not even sticking in your head, just thinking about the fact that you have these 4 chances. Now thinking about the fact that Navi's just wiped you out a couple of times in a row, and you get that old familiar feeling that they're just a step ahead of you. So Hypex just has to save the AWP. The real issue for GamerLegion in these losses is going to be the economy, is going to be the money down the stretch. A saved AWP here would be so valuable for the AWP and for the 5,400 in the bank. And Navi delaying this bomb plant so they can get Bit start moving towards ramp room to discover the position of Hypex. And he's been found.
Ooh, Bit pulls out the knife, calling his teammates over. They know they've got their prey locked in, and they're coming at him all over the show. Hypex stood no chance.
Bit isn't even smiling. He's not even smiling. There's no humor in that situation for him. There is for the rest of us. Flushing him out into the open. Deficit is now cut to, or the lead, I should say, for GamerLegion is cut to 3.
Yeah, there's no room for humor when there's no room for error, and that is the situation right now for Navi. Have to be perfect just to get this one into overtime, and it really does feel like they're starting to step in that direction. Win this, you get rid of the money.
Yeah, that's the big problem, the economy. And look at the change of pace, the crank up. Navi swinging out outside. They want fights, but one's gotten into garage. Mikaze needs to clear it, and he will. Huge win on Snacks, brought down to 4, but a man advantage provided.
Yeah, here's the reaction from GamerLegion. Going to try and push in towards lobby. We've got Imma waiting, rifle in hand, but he misses. A big whiff from Imma.
It's okay, the information is more than enough.
But he's getting pushed from the roof as well. You got Rez up here, and so much control of the map being taken there by GamerLegion.
I don't think Navi's super concerned considering the kill outside and the space they've gained there. Rez trying desperately to find Imma, but he can't. He's slipped away.
Yeah, Bits up towards heaven as well. Now surrounding the map here, Navi. Oh, Hypex.
Yeah, but this fake is, this is all, I mean, this is kind of a, it feels like a fake. They want to go up the vents, and it's working perfectly. Everyone from GamerLegion has been lured to this lower bomb site. There's no defense anywhere on the map. Great sense from Navi, and now you get some opening kills and you tactically outplay them again. You have to save if you're GamerLegion because you can't risk these weapons. You can't risk your economy in this. Navi's put you in an unwinnable scenario.
Just pushing and pulling them.
If they take these guns away, if Navi decide to hunt this at the end of the bomb timer and take these guns away, it's a disaster.
Well, Red's just going to walk in. So Alexi B walks in. That's one of the guns gone. And now it might just be a free-for-all to try and go ahead and remove everything from the remaining GamerLegion players. A little bit far off,
Oh,
but
no.
Mikaze's got one more. And every player that you lose
Send it all, Navi.
is giving Navi more and more chances to drag this one back all the way. And they are sending everything they've got at GamerLegion, and they will take away everything they had. Money shattered. Navi are going to drag this all the way, aren't they? Last round of regulation is very likely to be seen now. 12-10 at this point. Not enough for a full buy for GamerLegion.
And there's no words you can really give in the GamerLegion camp at this point. Everyone knows the situation you're in. Everyone knows how dire it is. The only thing you have going for you is that you've already got 12, so you can't lose in regulation. But this Navi comeback to force an overtime is going to hit like a loss for sure. 2 Deagles, a 5-7 on Towson, and USPs. That's what GamerLegion's got to play with in this round. Early utility dropped in the upper bomb site, and Ema's gonna slide out. No sound cues of the Molotov, no presence in the upper bomb site, no counter nades, and they feel it's free to waltz in, and they're correct.
Mikaze, beside red. Snacks is gone. Could be a second, and it is. Mikaze just farming outside now until the Deagle finally catches him.
Could be a nice AK-47 to recover. In fact, it will. Towson's going to take the sprint. Ema wants to take that weapon away, but Wonderful's going to get to it first.
Yeah, Towson trying to back away to safety. Oh, Hypex missing the shots from behind. Ima's going to turn. You have one chance to take him down. You better take it, just like PR. Head into the open. That Deagle looking for a second crack. PR's got one more.
That's nice.
It is nice. Great shots from PR. That's 3 picked up, but Alexi gets rid of him. And now the last round of the half coming up. Navi so rich. They've got such a great buy. And GamerLegion, their final timeout being used here.
Got to be one hell of an inspiring speech. GamerLegion going into round 24. They have this one final opportunity.
Navi bringing it back all the way.
They've squandered 4. They had 5 total. 4 of them have gone by the wayside. Navi clawing it back, but they've been doing it convincingly is the real problem. Those 4 rounds make it feel like Navi's actually in control.
Well, Navi get control of the game. They bring it back all the way to the final round of regulation, and you give Blade a chance to talk ahead of the final round as well. This is definitely looking good for Navi at this point. It feels like overtime, a real possibility, of course, and there's another timeout. They want to maximize this. They want to make sure that they bring this all the way.
Yeah, more to say, more to discuss. You're going to get a couple new timeouts once overtime hits, if it hits.
And it's so impressive, again, to listen in and hear Alexi call the comeback so early on in the game, and for it to happen once more. For Navi to find the resolve, to be resilient enough to stay in the fight and drag things back. And I think that's what GamerLegion are getting a taste of, is when you go up against these elite squads, the experienced players in best of 5s, if you don't have that killer instinct, that moment where you just close it, they are going to start creeping back into the game again.
Remember too, GamerLegion fighting to be a part of the conversation. This team has been popping off just the last couple of events. Navi has been fighting for trophies that whole time, and as we turn the corner into the major, this display of mental focus to be able to come back here on this stage in Atlanta.
Well, they've been trying for trophies. The problem has always been vitality, right? And they dispatch them in this tournament, and they have to go on to win it. They want to still do it in 3. It's still possible for Navi, but they have to do it here. They have to get it into overtime. Can GamerLegion hold on and force out another map?
All right, Snacks and Secret gonna get aggressive. Navi bringing bodies outside. Bit Mikaze lying in wait. They've got great success finding openings in the outer yard, but nobody's there this time. The op is passive towards heaven, and Snacks not playing in garage. He's playing down in Secret, gonna be neutralized by the utility. Mikaze left to lurk on his own.
Yeah, Snacks has really been struggling in the opening fights. He's been going down time and time again. Navi always finding an opening onto him, and here's a chance again. Snacks gonna back away. This time plays more disciplined, plays his life.
Yeah, not looking to fight in that situation, looking just to survive. But unfortunately with that play, he has no idea of what the numbers are. There's no information really gathered. They don't have a number count to say this many went secret. The entire map is still open and available for Navi to attack into. And it looks like we're going to the upper bomb site. Here's the hit.
Navi's last attack in regulation. Bit with the headshot to open things up. Navi have shown some crazy resilience to drag this all the way back. And it's looking like it will be overtime. Just PR up at heaven. GamerLegion didn't take their chance. They didn't ride their opportunity into Ancient, and NAVI bring it all the way back to overtime.
That's the difference of experience. NAVI stepping into the situation, into the moment, and answering the call while GamerLegion faded away. Not able to contain the comeback, and now you got to do it the hard way. Money comes back, at least you have that. Full buys for both sides. But this 5-round stretch from NAVI is going to feel devastating. And Blade gets that overtime timeout back into his pocket and calls it immediately. Lets them think about the situation just a little bit longer.
Blade's been able to chat a lot over these last couple of rounds here.
It'd be a fun conversation. Maybe he's felt like he's needed to today, right? You see frequently, I mean, he's always going to be a vocal coach, but you see Alexi handling these at times. Today, it feels like he's taken the reins of a lot of them. Disappointed in map 2 with how they began, so making sure he could get them into shape. Now here it feels tactically directing them quite a bit on Nuke down the stretch. But ain't nobody complaining when you do this. Force overtime off a 5-round win streak. And we're live into overtime. Opt for HypeX, opt for Wonderful. Snack seeing the old familiar wall of smokes. A little bit of a gap, but thankfully Bit doesn't turn the corner until it breaks. HypeX is going to do it himself. Can't land the shot.
Kaze just starting to peel away now with his teammates. No longer do they feel like they want to stay committed. They show presence outside, but they're going to start reallocating their resources elsewhere, and Imma is now looking as that smoke fades away.
I feel like GamerLegion's tried so many different setups outside to try and figure out how to stop that attack, and they still just keep losing it.
Oh, they're coming back again here, NAVI. They've still got players ready to go outside once more. This round with 45 seconds left.
Well, with the timing that they're coming back into it, they forced HypeX's AWP away from the outer yard. It's actually slid over towards ramp room to free up Towson to play Heaven. Ema and Rez have passed each other through the door smoke, and now an avenue to the lower bomb site. PR is here. He is down low. So is HypeX on the op. 23 seconds.
That's all that's left. HypeX gets in position, trying to stop them, trying to be the battering ram that bursts right through them, and PR's there with him. And this has cut NAVI short as they try and fight their way out of decon. They know they've still got to deal with that op. They know they've still got to deal with HypeX. But knowing and actually doing it are two very different things. And they do not prevent HypeX from heading up to his 20th kill. Bit will just hide away. Time is ticked on.
Yeah, first time throughout this stretch that we've seen NAVI feel like they had their opening plan taken away from them. Little tentative in progressing outside initially, coming back to it, but running out of options and having to sprint themselves into the lower bomb site without being able to stall out or use any utility to get in safely. Nice round win from GamerLegion, regaining the lead 13-12. Door broken open by Ema. HypeX again opening up outside. They at least want this op to keep the attack from NAVI honest, right? That you can't just push forward and try and find duels against our riflers. This op is going to make you consider and slow things down and use utility.
Smokes break, flashes go in. Makaze hunting down HypeX, looking to try and get that pick.
He got him.
Makaze did, in fact, win the fight. Wonderful to follow up here for NAVI as well. Only one kill has been answered back here from GamerLegion, so a 4v3 with over a minute left for NAVI.
And NAVI should take this slow, so there's time for this defense to figure it out, because at the moment, there's way too many resources outside. Snacks and Rez working together. PR on his own and doesn't want to mess with ramp room, so starts pushing. Starts wanting to take control of lobby. Meanwhile, NAVI drops down into secret. They'll creep up towards the lower bomb site. Rez has taken a long time shifting over towards PR's position. Nobody considering the B bomb site down low. So this time, Navi's gonna have a much easier time of things. Ema still looking for the cutoff, looking for the rotations, dropping vents, but he sees nobody home. It's quiet all over the map. Navi have no idea where the defense is positioned, but it's all good as they get into the site.
Bit just looking left and right, trying to catch a good timing. Ima, oh, he loses that fight. PR somehow coming out on top of it, but Bit is holding him off. A headshot coming through from the machine, and he gets away. Gets back in behind that decon door and silences any opportunity here of GamerLegion of making this happen. PR and Snacks have to back away. They concede it. It's going to be another round for Navi. A 13-13 tie game once more.
Yeah, they big off. They got the money to go for it if they wanted to, but with the HP, yeah, it's just such a low percentage. Can't take a single shot. So keeping the weapons in their hands, tying things up is Navi. And you could see just the adaptations from Navi as well. Creeping close up along the smoke wall outside, and as soon as that smoke is broken open, you know the AWP has its attention towards that break. The flashbang comes right through. And Mikaze, just in the nick of time, gets that kill, because Snacks was there to take him down. It just took an extra second to the flashbang hitting him as well. Mikaze, oh, they're going up. They're going fast. Pace change to the upper bomb site.
Mikaze's out. Look at that. Motoring his way through the site. Mikaze's got two, but Rez even better. A 3K keeps his team in it, but then the follow-up kills come in from Navi. Layers upon layers, and now a 2v1. It is doable here for PR. He's got the health, he's got the utility, and he's certainly got the skills. This young rifler looking to win a big round in overtime in the grand final. The Navi peel away. They're so comfortable in rounds like this. Wonderful and Bit just piecing together, getting the information, now realizing PR's coming in from heaven, and instead of going back and hiding away, they step forth and take the fight. It is now Navi 14-13, heading into the second half of overtime in the lead.
Grabbing it right at the end, and GamerLegion is not going to get the luxury this time of having so many rounds to play with. Let's see what this T side can do now when we switch back. They did have things tied up 6-6, able to make things work, some fast-paced changes early on, but then they figured it out tactically. But Navi's going to be a different team after this stretch of rounds, bringing it into OT. A very competitive map for GamerLegion, and they want to continue fighting. Towson, the first player towards ramp room. Everyone else following it up in lobby. GamerLegion foregoing the outer yard. They want no presence there. And this looks to be a fake utility towards the upper bomb site for an exec, but the ramp room hit is going to come in. It's wonderful standing his ground.
Wonderful. Sees a lot of opponents coming his way. Doesn't want to get involved and overwhelmed, so drop it back. And have his teammates who have rotated down lower with him. But GamerLegion pause in the ramp room, assessing their options. Where can they go from here?
Yeah, Bit falling all the way back. Really strong position to watch for the heaven play. Really difficult to clear him out of this position, especially if the hit's coming from ramp room. Might not be able to stop everyone, but he's going to be quite a nuisance to deal with. First kill is his. Oh, Bit, another one at range.
Yeah, he might just be able to stop everyone after all. He goes ahead, he gets a double. And all the information you need as well for Navi to feel comfortable about setting up your defenses and what is to come.
And if you can't clear him out of here, you can't climb the ladder is the biggest problem. Bit never has to take another fight again.
And well, the nades are coming in. He dodges that utility this time around, but now he's got a different angle on towards Rez. We got Alexi B who wins that fight versus Snack. So Towson and Rez a 2v5 to try and prevent Navi from heading up to tournament point. It's wonderful with the shot onto Rez, leaving Towson 1v4, and he can't do anything with 10 seconds left. So it will be Navi who have not only brought it back all the way, but who now stand at tournament point.
This has been a grand final of lessons for GamerLegion. Trying to gain experience off the recent positive results they've had. This grand final here has been excellent for them reaching this point. But Navi has just been showing you what experience can do. what a more established game plan, more established protocols can do. And now they're going to teach you the lesson on how to close things out. 2 opportunities, 15-13, well-earned opportunities. And they've been telling us this whole way to the grand final after the win over Vitality. Securing the trophy after that victory means everything to them. It's the only thing they care about. Round 29 coming up, 15-13. Up for Bit, up for Wonderful, up for HypeX. And potentially the final timeout, what was called during it. GamerLegion steps up to the plate. They need 2 in a row to get us to double OT.
Smokes go outside. It's quick from GamerLegion to toss them. But will anybody play in behind them? Wonderful seeing that no one has dared to step forward. He's gathering so much information on this. The double up setup for NAVI in place.
I'm just patient at the moment for GamerLegion. Snacks is going to make a solo effort behind this smoke wall. Starting to creep up towards red box. HypeX is going to join up with them a little bit late. AWP to cover the captain. Rez, PR, and Taliesin waiting over towards Trophy. They want to hit ramp room. Oh, near miss. Snacks was spotted over the smoke. And now all eyes on Bit.
He's nailed that shot on Rez. The opening kill falling in favor of NAVI. 4 kills away from the championship here in Atlanta. PR waits. Alexi B gets in the smoke. PR crosses right by him.
I don't see the plan for GamerLegion yet. Snacks is downstairs. Okay, inside the smoke, it fades.
It's improvised, but Mikaze able to trade it. PR gone. HypeX goes down lower to join up with Taliesin, who's coming down ramp. Snacks at the double doors. It's a last-ditch effort towards this lower side, but Bit's ready, and he reads it. This one is for the championship, and it's Taliesin who will die at the hand of Emma. And NAVI will prevail in Atlanta, Georgia. They say it doesn't matter if you don't beat Vitality. Well, NAVI have, and now they've won it all.
That's the completion of a very long goal. It took them so long to overcome Vitality. And the trophy on top is going to make it all that much sweeter. Just as you turn the corner into the major as well, for GamerLegion, it's another story. Frustration now, but certainly going to look back on this run as a positive. The experience gain, the faith and the trust gain. For now, they just got to shake hands and say, good game, because NAVI have won it all again. And NAVI setting themselves up so well. And they've got their first notch on the newest ESL Grand Slam.
And it is the major, that's the conversation, that's the goal in their sights. And in a world dominated by Vitality, we have begged for a challenger. And at the final stop before the World Championships of Counter-Strike, it is NAVI who has stepped forth. And now they will step to the front of the stage. They will enter Cologne as your champions, the Intel Extreme Masters Atlanta champions, NAVI!
NAVI left Krakow, bruised up, hit a home run at ESL Pro League, came into Atlanta with question marks around consistency. But here today, not as